Hello, everybody. Please let me know if you can hear me or if I need to turn up my mic. You know I'm not good with this stuff, so again, if my stuff isn't good, let me know. Also, ignore my own voice in the background. I'm trying to listen to
Sorry.
it.
No, I literally had you on as well, so I could double check. I can hear you. You
Okay,
are
perfect.
unmuted.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming today. I'm here with Paragon 7, and we're just going to be chatting about some Mass Effect stuff, and I hope that you have seen her last two big videos, because there's some things in there that I want to bring up. And so we're going to
Break
kind
up.
of be...
No, that was Freudian slip. Freudian slip.
No.
Break up.
No. I have some questions. So we're going to talk about those and then just some other Mass Effect things. I will try to read chat as much as I can, but let me take a look right now before we get started. Thank you everybody for being here. This is the first time that I've scheduled a stream versus just trying to start one, so I'm glad that people were here when we started. Thank you.
Big milestone. For a scheduled stream. I was going to ask, do you have cheese at the ready or
Cheese?
do we have some cheese? Do you remember Cheesegate? Or...
Oh my god, I'm not going to choke this time.
Okay.
I forgot.
Just wondering if you had the cheese. It was just curious.
I am food free. I cannot be trusted with talking and eating, so I'm not trying to choke to death on stream. No.
Okay.
We're going to be okay this time. No Cheesegate.
No Cheesegate. I don't have cheese. I have coffee. I'll try not to choke on the coffee.
Okay, yeah. I have water. Let's not choke on either of those, and we'll be okay.
We'll be all good. Alrighty.
All right. It looks like the Mass Effect Grant. Thank you so much for becoming an N7 agent. Thank you, guys. Looks like I have a few of you in chat. Thank you again. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about Atharia's video, and I'm going to just have it on in the background playing here. Obviously, you won't be able to hear it, but if you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it on your own after this. For now, let me grab my cue cards.
Cue card hype.
Okay, my first question is...
Sorry, I just wanted to say that the video the video just took me so long to edit. So I'm glad that everybody liked it, because I think this is the first stream I have like after I posted it.
Oh, that's right, huh? Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked it, because it took a long time. It took a long time. So thank you guys for watching it.
And your videos are taking off, dude. I told you they were going like...
No, yeah, you knew.
People are enjoying them. I knew it was going to happen.
Yep, Kala knew.
If you make good content, people will come. Like, that is...
Exactly.
Like, if you take the time to really put effort into your work and, you know, your editing and your voiceover and your research, which obviously you do, people will show up.
Yeah. It was cool. It was fun. It was fun to see it slowly start taking off, and it was just really fun to see everybody's comments too. It was like, what is happening?
Dude, I love reading people's comments, because sometimes like people's comments are like they didn't think of anything that you know brought up in the video, and their mind is just absolutely blown. I love those types of comments.
No, I love my favorite type of comment is this part. When you hit this part, I think one of my favorite ones was you showed me the thing about the soul cluster on Alkera, and I started giggling like a 5-year-old. That one was like one of my favorite comments. Like, I started giggling when I saw that comment, because I did the exact same thing, you know, when I saw it. Yeah. Also, just a quick, Blue Twinkles asked, how's your puppy? My puppy is doing really, really awesome. He's 4 months now. His name is Sham.
Aww.
It means a dark storm cloud, basically. He has so much energy. And I spend a lot of my time with him, which is why I don't appear on my videos anymore, because I don't have time to film. So yeah, but he's doing awesome. Thank you so much for asking. Sorry, Kala, you get to the cue cards. I feel like I derailed this a little bit, but you go ahead.
No, you're totally fine. Let me actually, I want to post in the Discord as well. So give me just 1 second. Oh, but while I'm doing that, let me ask, what do you think, because, you know, obviously we've seen that comment that Gamble liked about the Cerberus colors, and the Cerberus colors are on the relay that you broke down. What do you think Cerberus could look like in the next game?
Yeah, this is a great question because when I was doing my relay breakdown video, I genuinely was deciding like, because it could go either way, right? Like either the relay that we see is being built by Cerberus, or what I kind of landed on, what I'm kind of running with right now is that it's from the Systems Alliance, and it's just kind of, they've kind of taken over the project that Cerberus was working on is kind of my ongoing theory. So because I kind of am leaning towards that aspect of the Systems Alliance is in control of the relay that they were building, in my head, the way that I kind of look at it is where did Cerberus last, like where did we last see them? And the last thing that happened was Shepard basically dismantled their leadership group, I guess, let's say. Like there's always going to be, I think, little, like the whole point of Cerberus, like three-headed dog, there's always going to be a little bit of remnants that, are kicking around. So in the next game, where I'm kind of imagining them is that they're going to be almost like back when we first kind of heard about them in Mass Effect 1, where they're kind of just, you hear like little bits here and there about them, but they're more in the background, where they're just kind of trying to rebuild, they're trying to up their leadership, like that type of thing. Because I really think that at the end of Mass Effect 3, like when you go to the Cerberus headquarters and you take it down, like whether Miranda lives or dies, like her whole thing about spreading the news about this location, like the Cerberus HQ location and all that, was in order to take them down. So I feel like if all of a sudden they're a huge part of the next game, it would kind of lessen the impact of Miranda's work, and kind of what she was doing all throughout Mass Effect 3, really. So yeah, it's interesting. And I know that like the whole, like it wasn't entirely Cerberus, like it was really Miranda's father and stuff like that with that, but it felt like such a moment of we kind of dismantled Cerberus a little bit. So I personally think Cerberus is going to be more of a side thing. But obviously they could easily be a large part because there is a Cerberus looking relay and Gamble did like the tweet and everything. But I would like to think that they're like, maybe they'll go back to more of their infiltrating ways where they're kind of trying to infiltrate the Systems Alliance again. And, there's undercover, agents, so to speak, that are trying to do that. But that's kind of where my thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that, the comment that the Elusive Man makes when he talks about how Cerberus is an idea, it's not really an organization. It's based off of an idea, and that idea will persist. And I think that's very true, and that's something that makes, the entirety of Cerberus interesting. But also, I feel like they have to change moving forward. Like, they can't be what they were. It just wouldn't feel like progress. It would feel like regression. So if Cerberus is returning in some capacity, they have to have evolved.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that, with your comment on Miranda, I think that I wonder if Miranda became more involved with trying to reform Cerberus, because at one point she really, really supported it. Like, she was very, Cerberus was kind of her thing, and she really aligned with it. Obviously, that's not the case by the end of the game, but I wonder if she still has that kind of like, it can be something good again type of thing, and maybe if she survived, she somehow tried to reform it. Like, do you think there could ever be a Cerberus that did good?
I think it's possible because, like, when you said, Miranda, like it was her whole thing and stuff like that, and she might want to try to reform it, my immediate thought was, where if she lives in the extended cuts, you kind of see her as part of the Systems Alliance, just like with her hands like on the table and like people are looking to her. I feel like she would totally, like, she's the type of character that would bring everything that she has at her disposal to the table. And because in the extended cuts, it seems like she is part of the Systems Alliance now, I could easily see her trying to, like, bring that Cerberus style, like her almost like Black Ops, style back in, where it's really cool to me because in Mass Effect 1, Cerberus was originally a splinter cell off of the Systems Alliance. So I could totally see her wanting to almost like reform it back into the Systems Alliance, and then it kind of acting how it was supposed to act, like a undercover Black Ops group, like almost if Cerberus could transform into what the Spectres are for the Council, but for the Systems Alliance, like that would be something that I would be so down to see. But I would also want it to be a little bit shady and a little bit dark, and there are still Cerberus factions that are like, no, like only pro-human, and like, just stuff for humanity. Because I think that adds to the narrative, like heavily adds to the narrative, and just creates a whole load of like storytelling ability and just missions. So yeah, but then you also have to think, what if Miranda died, right? Because
Yeah.
you always have to think about that. What would it look like then, right? Like who would kind of be at the helm then? Like maybe it's Maya, but then she could also be dead. So, there's a whole bunch of things where when I'm trying to think of it, I'm always trying to think along the line of, is there a character that BioWare or the Mass Effect team still has to work with that can kind of bridge this?
I know, right?
Or is it possible that the characters or that the players could have killed off their missing link? So yeah, if Miranda survives though, then I think she could be that kind of, let's bring Cerberus stuff back to the Systems Alliance and have a little shady Black Ops group. I think that'd be cool.
Someone asked in chat, and I can't find it. I'm trying to like scroll back up, but do you think that there was any intentional connection between the Elusive Man and Cora? Because obviously they share the... Wait, you haven't heard this?
I know this. I know. I said I love this.
Because they share the same last name.
Yes.
Do you think that was... First off, I want to say that for those who don't know, Andromeda was written... Sorry, I'm like tending to my dog. It was written, not by the writers of the original trilogy team. There was a few devs that came over and like did some work on it, but for the most part, it was majorly, an entirely different team. So what are the chances that you think that it was a coincidence or an intentional future connection?
When I first heard it, so I think what happened was the order of events was I finished Andromeda, and then I read the comic on the Elusive Man, which I guess I'll just do a quick summary if anyone isn't aware of it. So there's a comic on the Elusive Man where it goes into his past, which I guess if you don't want to know, just hit mute for a second. Just spoilers for that comic. So the Elusive Man in that comic, you hear his whole backstory and how he kind of was originally involved in the First Contact War. And it's revealed that his name is Jack Harper. And obviously Cora's last name is Harper. When I first saw it, I was like, is this happening? Like, is this kind of what they intended? And I think it could go both ways. Either that he is her father or that it's just a complete coincidence. One, because Cora already has a backstory where she has parents. It's revealed in the book Mass Effect Andromeda Initiation.
Mm-hmm.
And she grew up mainly on ships and stuff, is what it's explained as. But there was no indication to me that those weren't her, like, they weren't like adoptive parents and that she didn't know her biological parents. Like, easily she could be in the dark about that, maybe. But from the sense I got, it seems like it seems like she just had like a normal family and then just there's no connection between her and the elusive man. But again, like you can't discount the same last name. Like Harper, like maybe it is just a simple explanation of the Andromeda writers didn't know about the comic. Like I don't actually know which one came first, so it could have been something they added after the fact. But my initial response to it is probably not. But then I always think about the fact that Korra is super highly biotic compared to other humans. Like almost like Jack levels, I feel like it's described as. Which brings to mind, like, was she a part of some type of experiment, like, because the elusive man would do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
I just, there's little things where you could make arguments for both. I personally don't subscribe to the theory right now. But if it is like true, where she is either the daughter of the elusive man or a relation, I think it would be really, really cool and a way that you could bridge the Andromeda and trilogy stories. So I kind of want it to be true, but I don't think it's true.
I think I'm actually kind of the opposite.
Okay.
I don't want it to be true just because I feel like a lot of Andromeda tried to rely on nostalgia from the original trilogy with like connections like that. So I don't think I necessarily want them to go that direction, especially since I don't think we're ever going to get a direct Andromeda sequel anyways. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel like anyone writing Mass Effect would have to know that the elusive man's real name is Jack Harper. I feel like that's like, But again, I don't know. I did want to do a shout out to Wisefish in the channel. If you guys like long format lore videos, I listen to his videos all the time. He has a ton on Mass Effect, on Cyberpunk. Like I listen to his stuff all the time. He's in the chat, so if you guys have not followed him, you should go check out his videos. They're extremely well done. So just a little shout out there.
I need to go.
I also want
right now because I don't.
Yeah, go check out his stuff there. It's very good. I love watching his videos.
When I do my Cyberpunk playthrough, I will definitely check out some of Wisefish's lore videos.
Yeah, and they're all like an hour long. So I love.
Oh, awesome!
I love long videos like that.
Yeah.
I did. I feel like your view on Andromeda, I feel like you've warmed up to it more over like maybe like the last few months, especially kind of with the more theorizing that you're doing. It seems like you're more appreciative of what was in there. With that said, I know that in the past we've talked about kind of not really wanting very much of Andromeda in the next game. Kind of both of us feel that way. But now that you have done all this research and seen more of like what Andromeda could bring, I guess, how are you feeling about that now?
Yeah. It's been such a weird journey with me for Andromeda. Like I never thought I would hit a stage where I would enjoy it. Like truly, when I first played Andromeda a year ago, I finished it. I think I started it in March last year and I finished it in about May of last year. I just didn't like it. Like it's just I've gone over this multiple times, so I won't go into it here, but I think truly I needed a little bit of time to kind of dissect like why was it the way it was. And I think just learning about the team wasn't the original team that did the trilogy. And learning things like they originally wanted the game to be a procedurally generated world, and then obviously that got scrapped. Their difficulties with Frostbite. It kind of just made me realize like there was a lot of decisions made from the get-go. Like the one about wanting it to feel more like a oh man, I'm blanking on the term. Like the is it the DC shows or the like stuff like the Flash CW shows. Like they intentionally made that decision. And I guess I
Yeah.
just realized, like, it just hit me. The game just from the get-go wasn't made for someone with my particular tastes. And I feel like that just perspective change flipped my whole idea on it. You know, because I just realized like it's they made the game specifically for people that for players that like those types of things. And it's just that I don't like those types of things, you know? Like I don't watch CW shows. Specifically because I don't like the vibe. So it just kind of made me understand like when dialogue's happening, I don't need to get hangry about it because I know that it wasn't made for my tastes, you know? So once I kind of figured that out, I was able to kind of just remove my like almost just my emotional feelings toward it of oh, it's not like the trilogy and blah blah blah, you know? And just kind of get down to the what is the lore that they added? Like how did they help push the Mass Effect universe forward? And that's kind of what I'm focusing on now in a lot of my videos and stuff like that. And I'm enjoying it a lot more. Now that I'm just kind of I've removed that like, you know, it's not the trilogy. Like once I got that out of my head and I realized, yeah, it's not the trilogy, that was intentional, that I was able to just enjoy it a lot more and enjoy it for what it is. And that's why I do find that I feel like like my thoughts on how much of Andromeda I want to be in the next game hasn't necessarily changed. Like I don't want it to be heavily Andromeda focused because I do think that the Ket plot line that's still left hanging, like that doesn't interest me still. Like that's not going to change
me either.
Yeah, like it's the story aspects of it I still haven't really changed my thoughts on. Like I do think that it was a little bit weaker compared to the trilogy. So I haven't really changed my thoughts on that. It's just that I do think that there are avenues for Andromeda's like you know there could be like I mentioned like the Korra Elusive Man connection. Like there's things there where they could kind of bring in Andromeda while not making it necessarily about the Andromeda storylines. But you know, there's stuff there, and I think you and I have gone over this in the past. Like, I think the Jardan stuff is the one thing that super excites me, and I really do hope that's in it. Like, we haven't even seen a lot of hints, if any, towards that being in the next game. I just kind of hope it is. So yeah, it's more just I do want parts of Andromeda still, but I'm just starting to appreciate more the lore and the world building side of the game.
I think that is a good way to look at Andromeda. Like when I finished Andromeda right after, or I played Andromeda right after finishing the original trilogy when the Legendary Edition came out. And I was like, oh, this is different. And everybody had told me going in, don't expect the trilogy. And I was like, I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. But then I had to like really be like, okay, so I really cannot expect another experience like the one that I just had. It's a very different game. And on one hand, that's fine. That's fine. I like Andromeda, but I like it for the possibilities that were there, I guess. Not necessarily for the experience that I had. Like, I think it was an okay game to like play. Like, I really liked it for a lot of the exploration. I thought that was cool. I liked the Jardan aspect, and I thought that was a really interesting, like, the lore of it. And I really like the Angara. I'm not super sold on their designs and the way that they walk, but I think that's a problem throughout all of Andromeda. But I think there's some really interesting lore stuff that they did set up there, specifically with the Jardan. And I really, really, really hope that if they carry anything over from it, it's that. And you spoke in your video about how you think that the Geth that, you know, were creating the Dyson sphere, stuff like that, you think that they could have met other aliens, do you think it could have been the Jardan? Or do you think that they maybe even could have met Angara, who had traveled from Andromeda? Because we do have that dialogue with the museum curator, and she's talking with Ryder about how basically the Angara could have been in the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah. Just before that, I think Cage just gifted some memberships
hi
in the
Cage,
chat.
thank you so much, that's so kind of you. Welcome to the N7
Cage,
squad, to the
awesome.
5 people that got gifts, and make sure to say thank you.
Welcome to the what are we called? N7 agents, or is it just agents?
N7 agents, yeah.
N7 agent squad, let's go. With regards to the Geth and the Angara, so you've read the comic about the Geth and the telescope. I think we've gone over this
Discovery.
before. Yeah, so in Discovery, it's so interesting. So there's a few things in that comic. You see that one Geth head with that little blue like flashlight like area, and I found it really shocking that like how closely it matched the
From
Geth
the
poster.
comic, yeah.
Yeah, like it's basically like I think that was the connection. And in that thing, it's all about how the Geth were kind of looking. They had found a way to I don't know if you're looking for it. I think it's like in the video,
It's in your
one of
latest
the
video.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's in one of them. But in that whatchamacallit, in that the end of the comic, the Geth are supposedly looking into found a way to uncover new homeworlds or something like that. I'm forgetting the exact lines, but they did the whole thing with pointing the 3, mass relay telescopes to form a telescope so they could kind of look at the Andromeda galaxy and stuff like that. But I found it really, really strange that yes, and there it is on screen. I found it really strange that they decided to have a literal poster that matches that, and then all of a sudden, in the latest teaser, we see a really strange looking Geth wearing clothes that, like we have never seen that before. So I think that there's something going on with the Geth, and that the Geth might be the connection to Andromeda, specifically because that comic in Discovery is following Tyrion Kandros, who is looking into stuff for the Andromeda Initiative. Like it's very Andromeda focused, and very kind of Geth focused. So I personally think that the Geth could be the connection. I'm not sure if the Geth kind of, because if we look at the one picture where the Angara is supposedly like talking to the Asari at the table, who I think is Liara, it looks like the Angara is like pointing an accusatory finger
At the Geth, yeah.
At the Geth, right? So it's like, okay, why do you have thoughts about the Geth?
Maybe,
first of all,
maybe the Angara
right?
is like, why is that Geth wearing a knight's armor set? Like, why? What's going on with this fashion code here?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe the Angara is like, I don't like the fashion that this Geth, that your friend has brought to this club. How dare? I would love it if it was that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I find it so weird. Like, why does this Angara have a thought, about the Geth? Like, I would assume if they were meeting for the first time, it would be very, maybe putting a hand out for a handshake, or, just more polite, I guess, body language. But yeah, this Angara has certain thoughts about this Geth for some reason. So I do think that specifically because of that comic, the Discovery comic, there's some type of Geth Andromeda connection. And I have gone in a previous video, I think there's the potential for the Jardan to be that connection. But at this point, it's just straight up theorizing. Like I don't know. It's just kind of what I'm thinking at this point. But for some reason, that Angara does not like that Geth, and I don't know why.
I think that's kind of where I'm at too. I think the obvious connections are the Angara, the Geth, and possibly the Scourge. I feel like those are the obvious connections that they could do.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I want to go into the next game and be totally surprised and like, wow, none of our theories were right. And we never would have guessed this because none of us are writers. And I want
love
Mary
that so
tomorrow
much.
to be like, this is the best narrative you've ever seen. Be surprised.
Yeah.
So like on one hand, I really, really want that. But also if there's anything from Andromeda that I want to learn about, it's the Jardan. That's the only thing. Well, and the Angara, but more so the Angara's connection to the Jardan. So that's really the only thing that I really like. Like I want to know who the benefactor was, and like I want to know who killed Gian Garson. And I feel like they could easily do that in like a prequel setting if they wanted to. But for me, the main thing is the Jardan. And so, like you said in your video, you think that those Geth could have met them. And I also just want to point out, you know, from that picture of the Geth in the comic, that's the side-by-side, Legion does not have that small little light at the bottom. That is distinctive. Like, that is not a Legion. Like, a lot of the Geth that we meet do not have them. Some of them do, though. And obviously the one in the comic does. I'm not sure what the difference is in, like, the models, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting because obviously the Geth are returning, but now we have Geth with clothing on.
Yep.
And
what's up with that?
What is up with that? Why? And it looks like a knight armor. Like, it looks like there's pauldrons. And
it is part of Dragon Age.
It
like my headcanon.
Dragon Age, yeah.
The Geth somehow went to Dragon Age and then rocked up and is like, guys, I met Morgan.
Oh my god!
This is why I'm looking like this.
Really, it's
sorry,
really
my Dragon Age is popping out here.
What's up?
Sorry, I was just you can clearly see that I'm enjoying my Origins playthrough, but we are not going to get sidetracked.
No. We will talk about Dragon Age at the end, though, even though we already did a little bit before.
100%.
So, okay, so with the, you know, we're talking about the Geth, and majority of the questions that I have are about the Geth. And what do you think, you know, with the Geth returning, obviously they are returning. Like, I feel like that's 100% been confirmed at this point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like we can safely say they are coming back. What do you think their story even looks like now? What do you think that the progress of their like story arc is moving forward after the end of Mass Effect 3? And what do you think their relationship with the Quarians looks like now?
Oh man, that's a great question. Based on what we've seen so far, and the angles that the Discovery kind of comic was taking, it seems like the Geth are taking that next step. Like in the trilogy, we kind of saw the Geth asking the questions of, you know, does this unit have a soul? And with Legion's like epic wrap up on Rannoch, whether you decide to shoot him or not, you do have to kind of, you know, definitively provide that answer. Like, you either believe that Legion had a soul or not. And kind of pulling on that one idea that you had in the video on the Geth and the Angara are the same, I really feel like that's going to be a huge part of the next game. Because Andromeda was kind of asking those same questions, you know, like the Geth and the Angara are basically the same. They're just, the Angara is the organic form of the Geth, because the Angara were made by the Jardan and the Geth were made by the Quarians. So in the next game, I think that the Geth story arc will probably take that next step, and I assume we're kind of seeing a little bit of that, where the Geth is wearing, this one Geth anyway, is wearing clothing now. That's very individualistic. So who knows? Maybe the Geth, you know, see themselves as individuals now. And instead of kind of just when you're talking, like when we were talking to Legion, it was very, you know, straightforward and, you know, I am a synthetic and, you know, always referring to itself as, you know, the part of the collective and stuff like that. We could see in the next game, like, a little bit more individualism and just showing more personality. And I think that could go really well, like, hand in hand with the Angara's arc. Because I just, you know, when you arrive on Kita Sira and you kind of realize that they were made, that was huge. you know. And if you take Jal, like Jal's in shock, you know, and in the conversations afterward with him, like he's like, what the hell is going on here? So I definitely think there's a lot there. And again, I feel like that's an easy Andromeda and trilogy connection of the Angara, of the Geth, and what it truly is like to be alive. Like, are we souls? And especially if Shepard comes back, like what does it mean to be Shepard, right? Because like obviously with my theory, like I think that there's the potential to bring back a Shepard that's not our original Shepard, which I already know that causes a lot of, you know, questions for just the people in my community. Is it Shepard? Like, would that be Shepard? So I feel like there's the realm of possibility for all those types of questions to be in the next game. And I think you had mentioned on Twitter that Cyberpunk kind of touches on that as well.
Yeah, dude, oh my God.
I feel like they could take that type of angle. Like I truly think that you're bang on with that. And they might make it more existential, and take that kind of angle with it.
Yeah, I am absolutely obsessed with Cyberpunk, and part of that is because kind of the main question that this main story asks you, and I'm not giving any spoilers or anything here, but and a lot of the side quests and stuff like that in Cyberpunk, it really asks, you know, you how much of you is you, even when you've been replaced by like cybernetic parts and hardware, and like at what point is that line blurred, and then like if you can save, you know, someone's personality digitally, is that still them or is it not? And there's so many fascinating questions there. And the very first time that I played it, I was like immediately thinking about Mass Effect 5 with the, you know, how you have the Angara who they are put into these bodies from what we know, and there's these empty templates without souls, without minds. Like, how does that work? And then, you know, the virtual aliens, a lot of people don't know about the virtual aliens, and I probably talk about them too much at this point. I know I'm getting annoying, but their story revolves around them. Like, at the end of their story, they swap minds with 300 or 400 individuals on the Citadel, and those people, or whatever alien it was, they are now living in the virtual world, and the virtual aliens are now living on the Citadel because they just swap minds. Like, how I want to know more about that. And I feel like it fits with the Angara stuff and, you know, the Geth and all that stuff. So it's there's just so many possibilities with everything that's already been established in the lore that I hope they don't add too much new stuff, because I think there's just so much that they could already pull from. And I agree with you about the Geth wearing clothing. It feels like, you know, when you give a kid the and you're like, hey, look, why don't you pick out your clothes for today? And they come out with the most like ridiculous thing. That's the energy that I get from that Geth. That Geth was like, I saw a vid once of this, you know, knight in shining armor, so I wanted to wear that. That's what it reminds me of.
I love that. I love that so much. But it could also bring into the thing, like, what if Aquarian kind of went with that Geth and was like, yeah, you have a soul. Do you want to wear clothing? And then the Geth had to think about it. And then, you know, maybe they went shopping. Like, we don't know. We don't know why that Geth all of a sudden is wearing night clothes. Like, it's fascinating.
I love that.
I love it. And I truly, because I was thinking about this, right? In each of the hints that we've gotten for the N7-Day teases, each one has been connected to the previous one, right? Like, we see the Geth poster. Like, I think with the exception of the first trailer, but we see the Geth poster, and then in the next one, we hear Liara talking to a Geth. And then in the one after that, we're seeing the Geth, you know, wearing clothes. So I'm wondering if we're going to have like a fourth Geth arc in this N7 day like tease.
Yeah, no, you're
And
totally
for
right.
some, like it's just gonna be a continuation and it's just gonna build on each other. And
Someone's
maybe we'll
gonna be
figure out.
kissing a Geth. That's the next
Yes.
phase. Like,
Oh,
that's what it
100%
is.
Kala. Yeah. That would be so good. Oh man. But then I'm also thinking, like, where would you kiss the Geth? Do you kiss the eyepiece? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I know some people will disagree with what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But I have said this before, that I do think that a Geth romance is kind of like the next step, as like everybody else seeing them as an equal. So like story arc wise, I do think that could be. I don't know if BioWare would really do that. I think they should do some type of like AI
synthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it would necessarily be a Geth. I could see something more that's like humanoid, like Edie was. But
so you're saying that we're gonna bang the new N7, who's clearly an AI?
I don't ascribe to that theory.
No, I know. That's why I brought it up.
But I feel like we have to, in the next game, have to have some type of AI synthetic romance, because that's just like the natural progression of that kind of like, are they alive?
Yeah.
I think that if they did a Geth romance, I think it would be awesome, and I would do it. Just because I think there's a lot of possibilities there. And
well, they've already put in, like with Edie, with Joker, like we need to know how that works, right? Like we need the details on.
They're never gonna give us the details. The fandom. Oh,
come on.
The fandom is fucked already.
We need this.
Okay, let's. The fandom was trying to figure out what Tali's sweat tasted like from a mathematical perspective. Okay, so
wait, I'm sorry. What? What did I miss?
The Tali's sweat thing?
No, I haven't. I almost don't want to know, but now I'm kind of curious.
I'm scared to Google.
No, but we wouldn't know.
Stream. You know, I'm gonna Google it on my phone, and I will tell you.
Okay.
But I bet people in chat have heard about Tali's sweat and the math that like someone did to break it down. Oh, also, I want to give a shout out to the Mass Effect Lorecast. Sam from the Mass Effect Lorecast has been on here with my last stream. So if you guys have not followed his channel, make sure to go check it out. I love listening to all their stuff. They did a bunch of videos on Liara and the Protheans and Mars, and so definitely go check that out if you have not followed them already. But yeah, I'm gonna link myself the Mass Effect Tali sweat thing, just because it's an interesting piece of. What is this ad?
I don't know, but for some reason it made me think of the Geth, and I'm like, what is happening? Do Geth wear underwear? Like, my thoughts are going all over the place.
Sorry, everybody. I was looking at my phone and I wasn't paying attention. I look up and there's just a freaking you-know-what in my face. So,
yeah,
my bad.
The fact that we're Googling Tali sweat and what it tastes like, and we just saw that underwear ad, I feel like this might be going off the rails slightly. This is the going off the rails portion.
I'm gonna link it.
Oh no.
In the chat, so that everybody can see what I'm talking about, because it exists.
But I'm just trying to I'm trying to think though.
Okay, I'm not the weirdo who did this. I just want that to be clear. But yeah.
Oh, guys,
no. It's real. It exists, and if I have to know about it, then all of you do. And yeah, it's this guy made this whole like molecule breakdown
and see it
Tali's sweat. And he's like, or it was to know what Tali would smell like. And he's like, so far we can tell Tali would not smell nearly as bad as those filthy humans. Her sweat's a drug and a natural performance enhancer. So, yeah, everybody enjoy that little piece of Mass Effect fandom history.
I really appreciate you sending me this, because legit, sometimes, like we make theories. Sometimes I'm like, I need to go touch grass.
Oh, dude.
But this is person needs to go lie down in the grass and do
think about what you did.
Like a snow angel, but like a grass angel. Yeah, like there's molecules here. Kala, I just need you to, if I ever get down to the breaking down the molecule level on somebody's sweat, I need you to tell me to go
We'll
touch
have an
grass.
intervention. Don't worry. I got your back.
Yeah. We'll both have interventions because
Yeah,
oh
no,
my goodness gracious.
There's also, oh my god, why do I know this? But I'm gonna say it anyways.
Oh no.
Someone asked Patrick Weeks at a convention about Garrus's you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And now
give us the deets.
What's that?
Give us the deets to wreck us.
I mean, his you know what. His you know what. And Patrick Weeks, so everybody who doesn't know this, oh my god, YouTube is never gonna let me monetize this.
Just use euphemism or just change the word.
I'm trying. Patrick said that Garrus's you know what was basically like a duck's you know what, I believe, like a twisty, and then a bunch of, like, sometimes I'll go look up Garrus stuff on Etsy and there's a you know what mold of it and I'm like, oh, I forgot that existed and I would like to forget again. So that's some other deep Mass Effect lore. Thank you, Patrick Weeks, for that
Mass
canon
Effect lore.
information.
That's a way of describing it.
Yeah. So
Patrick needed to let us know. I think we all needed to know that.
Yeah, and now we do, and now everybody in chat knows.
Yeah. Now when it fades to black, you know what happens.
God, that is
I've never actually romanced Garrus, so I don't actually know what the romance scene looks like.
There's really nothing there, but
okay.
I'm so sorry, Fang. I know you would like to unhear that, but you had to hear it. Everybody needs to know the truth.
Oh man. Do you think, okay, this is a random question, but do you think they're gonna like go there for a lot of like, do you think they're gonna get more like racy?
Okay. I have thoughts
in
about
like
this.
the romancy. Yeah, like just because we're here now. So I feel like we won't be able to transition. Yes. Let's talk about the Andromeda romance. What is up? Like
Andromeda's romance
shocked.
scenes. Okay, I know that the devs wanted to dial it back too. Like some of them watched that and were like, "What?" And some of those scenes were cut down. So someone was having a grand old time with those scenes. And obviously what we get in the game is still very, very, like, especially with Cora and I believe PB.
Oh, yeah.
I think Jaw's scene is well done. I don't think his
I romanced Jaw. I mean, I will say, because I romanced Jaw, after seeing the romance scene, I almost felt like I didn't want to, like, look him in the eyes because I felt like...
Really? I thought it was a cute scene.
I don't know. It just
was maybe a little
it went places.
Too much. Yeah, it was maybe, what is this?
Also, Kala, there's another ad that you should probably skip.
I liked his romance scene. I thought that was good. But the other
was
scenes,
good.
I saw Cora's scene and I was like, holy shit, it just kept going. And I was like, that is, I don't think that they will ever be, I don't think BioWare is ever going to
It's not going to hit that
racy
level.
Yeah, not to that level again, especially from like what the devs have kind of said after the fact. So no, I don't think that they, and I also don't think that they need to. I think that but I do think that if the romance scenes show anything, then all of them need to show it. Like if you're going to show an Asari with their clothes off, okay, well then you need to show a Turian with their clothes off.
You need to show Garrus. Yeah. You need to show Garrus and his you-know-what.
Yeah, and, BioWare has done, like, obviously all this stuff is within their thing. And there's also, I'll give another little bit of BioWare lore. There's a hilarious scene in Inquisition. It is so funny. And one of the characters is naked.
Wait, is this a romance scene or?
It's like kind of tied to it, but it's not necessarily a romance scene.
Okay.
It's supposed to be comedic relief.
So
yeah, I wouldn't really count it in that. But the character has, there is a mold of that character's, you-know-what, somewhere.
Okay.
Like it exists, but in the game, I believe they took it out and it's just a black box now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Kala.
It's so funny.
Okay.
And you can, oh my God, the stuff that the Dragon Age fandom has done is so, oh, it's as bad as the Mass Effect fandom with like the Tali sweat things, the things that I have seen. You know, it's like I was at war and just saw the most horrifying things, and I just live with the images in my mind.
Clearly. No, but now you need to share it. You need to share it. So, oh no, I love how Zodorus has walked into.
Oh, hi! Perfect time to join. If you guys,
yes, this is the time to join.
I'm gonna promote his stuff too. If you guys have not watched Outer Odyssey, he and Rima, they make some really, really good videos. I love all their breakdowns on their Benefactor theory videos. Some of them are older, but he is getting back into making new videos. So go check out his channel. I will link it at the end so that everybody can. At the end, I will link a bunch of videos so that you can go follow people if you want more Mass Effect content. But thank
Definitely.
you for
100%.
joining.
Go subscribe.
You couldn't have joined at a worse time, to be honest.
No, this is the best time. This is the best
this
time.
This has been so sidetracked. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Kala, the cue cards you had, they're burning somewhere.
Yeah.
Or your dog ate it.
Like my soul. Yeah. I'm so sorry. But back to what we were saying. I do think that if Mass Effect is going to have any romances, they have to be equal. Like, they have to be given, you know, obviously the Asari are given, and the humans are given a lot more than the other romances. There's no scene with Garrus, you know, there's no scene with Tali, and I think that's unfair. If you have people who want to romance them, and, you know, it
just fades to black.
I get to see a full romance scene with Liara in all her full glory, then other people deserve that too.
I agree.
So
100%.
yeah. Yeah. That
I don't know how we transition out of this conversation. But
I don't know. Let me just ask a new question.
Find a cue card that relates to.
We'll just pretend this never happened.
Sure. So yeah. Everybody just mind wipe. Anyway.
Okay. How do you think the Geth survived?
Oh, okay. Well, I have theories. I do have a lot of theories on this one. So, I remember when I first started, like, trying to figure out why we were seeing I think it was when the last N7 day teaser dropped, and we saw the Geth there, because I was convinced, like, I had a good stretch of a few videos, I feel like, where I was contemplating the idea that the Destroy ending was legitimately going to be canon. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be it. It makes the most sense. It would be the easiest thing to work with. You know, the galaxy, the Milky Way itself would be in a somewhat, you know, not crazy state. But then as I kind of just learned more about the dev team and just really started looking at the teasers, I was like, what if they're trying to, like, make everything work? So when I had that thought, and I was like, okay, if Destroy isn't going to be canon, how do you make everything work? I then, you know, started reading all the lore and, like, everything, and after reading the Discovery comic, I kind of was just toying with the idea of, what if there's a group of Geth that, kind of like with the Andromeda Initiative, weren't in the Milky Way when everything went down? So, because, I mean, I think you've seen the video I had on, like, the Andromeda Initiative. Like, I personally think the Andromeda Initiative and the fact that they kind of decided to leave in the middle of Mass Effect 2 and 3 is kind of like a loophole where they were like, okay, we're going to send some Quarians away, we're going to send some Krogan away. So if the players decide to, in Mass Effect 3, on Tuchanka, like, sabotage the genophage cure, and on Rannoch, if they decide to wipe out the Quarians, at least in Andromeda, there will still be Krogan and there will still be Quarians. And somehow, some way, they'll make their way back to the Milky Way, so they'll be able to tell those specific stories for those races. I feel like with the Geth, and especially with the Geth that we're seeing, they try to pull off something similar, where in the comics, they were like, we're gonna just make a group of Geth just not even be a part of the Geth collective, and they're just gonna be off doing their own thing. They're off looking for like worlds past, where anyone else is looking, I think is the line in the comics. So I personally think that the Geth that we're seeing is not one that, we've interacted with before or anything like that. I think that the Geth are going to survive into the next game from something that is completely independent of player action. So, and I know some people find that a little bit cheap, and they find it a little bit like, well, I wanted the Geth dead, but now there's going to be a group of Geth all of a sudden that I didn't want. I do think some of that is down to like, if the devs want to tell stories about the Geth, that's on them. And, that's up to them. It's their privilege. They get to work on Mass Effect, so they get to decide what stories they want to tell. So I think that the Geth, that if they are going to be a major part of the next game, or maybe it's just a few that survived, that the Geth will be not the ones that we know. I don't think that they're from like an alternate universe or something. I feel like that's very much the easy way out, and I don't think they're going to do that. I think that they just happened to not be in the vicinity of the events that took place on Rannoch, and they were off doing their own thing, and then they're going to kind of come back, and for some reason, maybe now they're wearing Geth Knight armor looking clothes for some reason. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on how the Geth would be in the next game.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I think that I think it's really interesting to kind of see the fandom responses to the Geth being back. Because so often I see people being like, oh, well, if the Geth are back, it means that Destroy can't be canon, or, this ending can't be canon, or whatever. Synthesis, the synthesis ending is canon. And I so often see that. And I'm always just kind of like, there's a million ways that they could write the Geth returning. There is so many things that they could just basically be like, oh, well, there's hardware restored or stored, and they were restored. I think it would be very poetic if they were restored by the Quarians, like say, they were deactivated and killed essentially in in 3, and that is the choice moving forward. I think it would be really great and really cool if the Quarians were like, okay, well, we want to reactivate them and rebuild them, but this time as equals. I think that would be really cool. Again, there could be people there could be Geth who are not in the galaxy, because, we know that they were using the Andromeda telescope to look out of the Milky Way and looking at whatever, and we still don't know exactly what they were looking at. So I really think there's like a ton of options that they could have done, or that they could do. And I just hope that, you just said that it could be a small group of Geth, and I think I really want to see, like, maybe, since I think the next game might take place in 2190, it's been this is just my theory based off of that, the clip of the relay. I think that if it's been 4 years since any ending, that is plenty of time for the Geth to rebuild themselves. That's plenty of time for someone to reactivate them, and in the Destroy ending, Hackett says we can rebuild everything we lost. Yeah. We don't really know what that means because it's never really been elaborated on. And there are so many things that are left vague in the endings that they could, again, write really anything that they wanted to fit whatever narrative. So I just think that, I agree. As long as it's not somehow Palpatine has,
yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We could go on a huge rant.
God. So as long as it's not, something stupid and there's a valid reason and good explanation, I'm fine with whatever. I think that the reality of the next game is that they're going to have to canonize choices anyways to move the galaxy forward. I don't know if there's a game that can realistically have all the different endings as possibilities moving forward. Like, how are you going to have one setting of the synthesis ending and one setting of, the control ending, and then one of the destroy ending? I think control is kind of easy. You could be like, oh, Shepard helped rebuild and then took the Reapers elsewhere, which
And left, yeah.
I don't like that. But I think they could do that. But the synthesis ending and the destroy ending are very different and have very different outcomes. Even if we don't really get to see it, the implication is there. So I think that they're going to have to canonize choices, and I think that that's going to revolve around, the Geth specifically, which I think they're already starting to canonize.
Yeah. I mean, I guess after I did my little thought experiment where I was like, can you make the next game without canonizing anything? I think you can do it. I really think that you can do it. You just need to find like the commonalities between all the endings and somehow find a way to make each one unique, you know? Like I know that a lot of people have said like, in the trailer, Liara's skin isn't green. So that means that synthesis isn't canon. But I was thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure that the green kind of techno skin thing was just almost like for the players themselves to see, oh, hey, so like something did happen to these people. Because if you think about it, like if you somehow like if you chose synthesis and they are gonna not canonize anything, in the synthesis playthroughs, they're not going to make sure that every single character has this green techno thing going on. Or that everyone's eyes are green. Like that would kind of ruin the imagine if just uh whatever eye color you chose for your character or whatever, it's going to be green now. If you were in the universe when that happened, or in the Milky Way. So I feel like there's a lot of things where you could kind of explain it away, like you could be like, okay, the synthesis skin thing isn't going to actually be represented, like visually represented, but it will still affect everyone there. Um, and yeah, like I don't know. I guess when I went through that thought experiment, and I realized that if you just kind of use the kind of like the limiting factor of each kind of ending and try to make like if you kind of insert something new, like a new villain or something like that wasn't in the Milky Way, it kind of solves your problem of synthesis not being able to have conflict, you know? Um like I almost like to think of the endings as the background that you gave Shepard at the start of Mass Effect. Where, you can either have like a spacer background or an earth background or the other things as well, where I forgot what it's called, but you could be a war hero or a soul survivor. I feel like the endings could kind of be like that, where you could kind of in the next game just have little dialogue lines where maybe a character just kind of mentions something to do with synthesis or something. Or the way that I like to think of it is each ending could kind of have like 3 to 5 different mission specific things depending on the ending you chose. Um, so I personally think that it could work. I personally think that it could if they, did a whole bunch of creative stuff, and I know Mary DeMarle was such a smart woman, like she could figure it out. Um, I think it could work without canonizing stuff. Um, but again, I would not blame them at all if they went that route and decided to canonize things. But I do think when you start to canonize certain things and not others in a choice-based game, if I had to keep playing that game, I would just think to myself every time I made a choice, well, something's going to be canonized anyway, so it doesn't matter what I choose, you know. And I hope they don't go that route because it would basically, if I was playing it, I would be like, well, they're going to canonize something, so I can just choose whatever, and then I'll see what they chose the next game I play. So I personally hope they don't canonize too much. especially the specific like huge player choice, like things like the endings. Um, yeah, but again, they could. They could, and I wouldn't blame them.
See, I think my problem with that is that I don't want them to canonize stuff either. But I think the only realistic way to not canonize stuff is to basically say, yeah, all the endings happened, but after years and years, all the endings kind of merged into one and the future was, the same. And I don't think that's possible in 4 years if 2190
Yeah.
is the next setting. Like, I think if they were to be like, oh, okay, well, 600 years in the future, which I think about that statement from, Liana Rupert, that she said that's
Yeah.
what someone at BioWare told her was happening with the next game. And realistically, I think if they push the game out 600 years, they could very easily be like, okay, well, yeah, synthesis happened, but we've all evolved and we don't have that, thing on our skin
Skin thing.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, with Destroy, yes, things were destroyed, but everything was completely rebuilt and it's been like 600 years and we have a better understanding of living side by side. And that's like the
Mm,
synthesis, could like a level of that as
right.
well. I just think that if the next game takes place in 2190 and all the endings don't look drastically different, I think it removes some of the the endings of Mass Effect 3 are already controversial. So
Mm-hmm.
I think if they remove any more player agency from that, people are going to be mad if they feel like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter what ending I choose. They
Yeah.
already, and I think people already kind of feel like that. It doesn't really matter because you never really get to see what the future looks like. So yeah, they have a major task with that. I really have no idea what they're going to do, but BioWare does canonize things. Like
Yeah. That's the thing.
they, especially in their expanded material. So like the comics, there's a comic following a character who can die in Origins, and he is in a comic. There's a whole comic about him, and then there's a character who can die in Dragon Age 2, and he's in
Mm,
multiple comics after that game. And
right.
BioWare has said that that's their established canon, but
Ouch.
yeah, I mean, they have made these choices, and while I do think it is for the better, I do think it's a better narrative to like if it suits the narrative to bring back these characters, if it suits the character to bring them back and
Mm,
override a choice that not a lot of people took anyways, then okay, I think that's fine.
right.
But I just don't know how they'll address the endings with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's super interesting because I don't usually play a lot of choice-based games to begin with. So I think I'm definitely okay with them going with a linear, like more of a linear route. And I feel like Andromeda was kind of that. Like there wasn't a lot where we couldn't kill off any major squad mate or anything. Like we could kind of make them angry, like when we had to choose between I think it was the Solarian Pathfinder
The
or
crow, yeah, or
the
the crow,
Krogan.
yeah.
Yeah, like our choices felt like they were less impactful in general. So I don't know if they want to take that route, where we won't have a Vermeer style choice of, deciding between two characters' fates because like maybe they've learned from everything they've kind of done and realized, "Oh, hang on. Like I kind of like this character. I kind of want to keep writing for this character." So maybe we won't give them the power to kill them off. I feel like that could easily be a route they go. Obviously I know that the Andromeda team was different from, like if the veteran team is back, maybe they're back because it's going to move more towards that direction, with the heavy consequences for your choices. Um yeah, it's a really tough thing. It really is. I personally hope that our choices will matter in, like from the ones that we did previously as well as the ones we're going to make in the next game, I'm personally not super attached to I want to be able to kill off characters if I want. But I do hope there's a lot of choices where um it impacts the world, and you can kind of see that uh know that your choices matter. I think that's what I want in the next game.
Yeah, I agree. I think my just major concern is that I want the original trilogy to still feel like that. Like, I want to feel like whatever they do in the next game, people need to still feel like their choices matter when they replay, the Legendary Edition. Because, I mean, people are still replaying that. It is still very popular to be replayed. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's still a ton of new fans coming in. And something that they're going to want is to promote that, obviously, before the next game comes out. And they're still going to have to be respectful of people's choices in that game moving forward. I think that's my main concern. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can figure it out. It's a major task. I can't even imagine. So good luck to them.
Yeah, no kidding. I was also thinking like if because you need to make each game fresh for like pretend that a player is picking up this game for the first time, right? And for Mass Effect 2 and 3, there was kind of like that like that interactive comic at the beginning of the game to kind of be like, what choices would you have made if you played the games type of thing, right? Like the major ones. What will the kind of interactive comic, if they go that route, look like for the next Mass Effect? Because like it would be insane. Like, would they present a comic where it's like, hey, which ending did you choose?
I don't think
You
so.
know?
I don't think so.
Or
But
will it just be a fresh
yeah,
slate, right?
I kind of think so. And I kind of think that's what they have to do. Just because,
Right.
sorry, I wasn't close to my mic. But I just think that this next game, obviously Jeff Grubb said it's not coming out until 2029, which I still don't think that I agree with that. But if this game isn't, at the earliest coming out in 2027, that's still several years from now,
Yeah.
and would be 10 years after Andromeda came out, and would be, let's see, I can't do the math, but Mass Effect 3 came out in,
Oh, 2012.
2012.
15 years.
Yeah, so while they would be marketing to established fans, you know, a new game's target demographic will always be bringing in new fans.
Yeah.
So realistically, I just don't know how they do that. I don't
Mhm.
know. Yeah, there's just Mass Effect is just in such a weird position where it does have this large fan base. It does have all these people who still love it and who've been waiting for, a sequel for so long.
Mhm.
And you also have people who weren't happy with Andromeda and don't feel like the game got a proper sequel, after following Mass Effect 3. So they have that part of the fan base to try and appease to. But then they also, there's, I would say, especially after like games like Starfield, there's a lot of people who are wanting more sci fi games. And
Mhm.
Mass Effect is going to have to market towards a very large new fan base. Like they can only rely on the nostalgia for so long, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Which is almost like, will they put toward a lot of their like development energy towards catering to their old audience, or will they just be like, screw it, let's just make the story that we want and canonize the things that, maybe the majority of players did and stuff like that. Like it could easily go either way. I could easily see it.
Yeah.
And it would be like you could make arguments for both sides, you know? You could be like, yeah, it's been 15 years since the trilogy. It's been 10 years since Andromeda. Like you could almost just throw everything out the window. I mean, obviously what we've seen, they're definitely not doing that. But it could they could go either way. They could
And
easily go either way.
I think that we're going to have to look towards Dreadwolf to kind of see what's going to happen with
Yeah.
Mass Effect 5, because Dreadwolf is probably releasing 10 years after Dragon Age Inquisition, after its last installment. There have been
Mhm.
10 years of original fans wanting a sequel, but again, they have to market towards a new demographic. So with this next game, it's going to be very interesting to see how much of it connects to previous games, because Inquisition was kind of like that, where it was very much for new fans. And even
Mhm.
though there was a lot of connections to the previous games, it's still very much a game that you can get into and play without having played the previous games. And That's what I expect from Mass Effect 5. Like I think that it's not, I don't want to say like a soft reboot, but I guess maybe that is kind of what I'm saying in a way. Just because it's been so long, they're marketing towards different groups of demographics. And we will see what Dreadwolf looks like and how they handle that 10-year gap to see, to kind of look towards Mass Effect 5 and maybe see what we can expect with the next game as well. Whether it's how many, references to the previous games, how many Easter eggs, how much of the previous stories are still relevant moving forward.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking like it would be really cool if they almost did like a Final Fantasy-esque thing where there's always certain things from the games that move forward with it, like, like the chocobos and the cactuars and like the enemies and stuff like that. But then there's also things like, Biggs and Wedge and Sid and the recurring characters. Like I wonder if Mass Effect might start going that route where it's like if you're in the know, like if you play a lot of the games, you'll understand the Easter eggs and stuff. Which obviously that's like I'm not saying that they're only gonna have little things like that, because we're seeing Liara and we're seeing, like, I was just watching that one video you had on screen, like that Angara could be Jal. So it's not gonna be like a completely unrelated thing. But what if that's kind of the path they're gonna use moving forward, where it is like if they want to tell a new story with each Mass Effect and not follow like a 1, 2, 3, a trilogy style format with each protagonist. What if Mass Effect kind of evolves into like a Final Fantasy sci-fi where it's more just like Easter egg stuff and like maybe there'll be lines about calibration and elevator scenes where new players wouldn't necessarily miss out on anything, but old players would get it. They would get why that scene exists and stuff. I could easily see that being like the path they do moving forward if they do want to kind of move it more towards like a Dragon Age, like a new protagonist each time and stuff like that. It could be interesting.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I also think that it's going to be interesting to see with the next few years for sci-fi RPGs what it looks like. Because, obviously we have Exodus. Feels like it's right on the cusp of releasing the first novel of 2 that they are working on comes out in September. And
gotta put that on my list.
Yeah, so it comes out I think September 17th. It's called the Archimedes Engine. So that comes out in September, and that's the first like real introduction to the world. And I've got Exodus playing up here so if people are interested, but so I think that this game is also coming at the perfect time, because what I think the order of games that we have are, I think Exodus is going to come out hopefully next year is kind of what I'm expecting. And then next after that, we have Humanoid Origin, which is Casey Hudson's new studio. They've been in production for the last few years, and I kind of expect that game before Mass Effect 5 for some reason.
Well, if it's in production, right?
Yeah,
Mass Effect isn't even in production.
That's very true. It is a brand new studio. They have not shown a lot. I'll pull up the video after this one, but so right now there is, so Exodus, Humanoid Origin, and I think those are both going to come out before Mass Effect 5. And not to say that those are going to, really mean much when it comes to Mass Effect 5, but I think the landscape of sci-fi RPGs for the future is just going to look different. Mass Effect was kind of the sci-fi RPG. And I think we're going to see some contenders kind of, bring some competition in for BioWare. And I think that's a very good thing. But yeah, we'll see kind of what the future is. And if anybody is interested in Exodus, I have like 10 videos of it. I'm like deeply obsessed. It's got, I'll give you like a seller's spiel here, but they just released new concept art that shows like essentially some type of like dark urge concept that, from Baldur's Gate 3. There's robots and alien and AIs and changelings and awakened, and the world seems like they're setting it up to be absolutely massive. they've already up on the Exodus website. There's a whole timeline, and there's a bunch of information about the companions and your protagonist. And I think that there is just so much that this could be, and I really, really hope that they nail it. It's hard to say. It's a brand new studio. We don't know what to expect from them, but it is a bunch of
Yeah.
BioWare devs, but also people who, have worked at other AAA studios as well. Like, the team is stacked. So I
Hmm.
really hope that they can deliver, and I hope that this game isn't too far out. I'm expecting next year. But yeah, I think that by the time Mass Effect 5 comes out, there will be competition, I guess is just what I'm trying to say.
100%. Oh no, definitely. But yeah, with regards to like Exodus, it just there's so much lore. Like I'm just looking at the screen right now. Like they have provided so much information on it. Like it's almost like the codex, of Exodus, where they're just like, yeah, look at this Crucible era, and here's all the things that happened. But what I find really fascinating about Exodus, when I was looking up stuff on the website, was who we are as the traveler, because apparently we're like a mix of like our parents, I guess. Like one was human and one was
Celestial. Mm-hmm.
celestial, right?
Yeah, we were
So
created. Yeah.
yeah, like that in and of itself, I'm like, that is fascinating. Like we're already unique. We're definitely like a chosen one style protagonist where we're gonna be able to do certain things that other people won't be able to. And yeah, I'm so excited. It feels very, very much like Mass Effect. And especially with the way it's kind of coming out, with the books kind of preceding the game, just like how Mass Effect did it. Like that Drew Karpyshyn totally was like on top of that, because he wrote the first Mass Effect book with Anderson as the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it feels it. I get so many Mass Effect feels when I look at this, that I'm very,
Same.
very hyped for it, because it feels like that missing game where we're all just so desperate for anything Mass Effect, that Exodus will hopefully kind of fill that little sci-fi craving. And yeah, I can't wait for it. It
Yeah.
looks
No,
awesome.
I totally agree. And also, I just want to say hi to Elias. I saw you say hi, and last time when you gifted all of those subs, I said this whole spiel at the beginning of the stream saying thank you, and then realized I was muted. So I never got to properly say thank you. So thank you, Elias, if you're still here. I saw you just tag me a little bit ago. Um, but yeah, Exodus, I think, has a lot of potential, and I really hope that it can live up to it, and I really hope it is as massive and choice and consequence driven as they're saying, because there's
Yeah,
just a
it
void
seems
for that.
huge.
Yeah.
Time dilation, right? Like
Yeah,
when
that
I
sounds really
first kind of
interesting.
saw, and then I was like, oh, if I go through a gate of heaven, is it? Or a gate of, yeah, I don't know what they're called. When you go through like one of the gates that are
Oh,
like
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And like, you could basically just say goodbye to like five of the people that back on like I assume like a city hub, right? Like, oh man. I'm gonna be sweating when I play that game.
They made
Just
it
making
sound
every choice.
very, yeah, they made it sound very, very heavy with choice and consequence. And
Yeah.
I really, really hope that it is, because, I mean, again, it's a brand new studio. We don't really know what to expect from them. Um, there are some of the aesthetics that I'm not like 100% sold on, but
Oh yeah.
I feel like if it fits into the larger like look of the game and the world, I can, come to appreciate it.
Right.
Um, but again, we'll see. I don't think they're going to be at um what's it called? Summer
Summer
Game
Game
Fest.
Fest.
Yeah, I didn't see Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, or Archetype Entertainment on their
Okay.
list. I don't think that's the full list, but I didn't see that.
Okay.
But they have been slowly revealing stuff over the last few months. The game was revealed in December at the Game Awards, and that's kind of where I expect them to show up again. But you can
Yeah.
have, okay, on the screen right now, there is a pig, and in the game, they've basically said that they're going to have awakened animals, and
I love
they
that.
have genetically altered animals so that we can talk to them. There's a story about a pig and she is a security guard, and she bites off a
heck?
man's hand and like has super speed, super strength. I'm fascinated. I want a
I
companion
need,
that's a pig.
yes. I need a pig companion that bites off people's hands. 100%. I'm already sold. I was sold before, but now I'm like more sold.
I'm
That's
just I
epic.
need it. I need it so badly. I am, and in truth, I'm honestly more excited for this game right now than Mass Effect 5 just because Mass Effect feels so far
Far.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm I'm just hoping that Exodus is kind of soon. We'll see. I don't know, but yeah, I've everything that they've shown so far I'm very interested in, and I'm hoping to learn more soon.
Same.
But yeah, I don't really, I just worry about the future of Mass Effect just cuz it's so
It
far
depends on so
away, and it
much.
depends on I made a whole video about how I hope
Yeah.
that Dreadwolf does well so that Mass Effect can happen. And so
Yeah.
that, and I also think that based on Gamble's tweet about the Fallout TV show, I think that the Mass Effect TV show is in production. I think it
I
exists.
need this. I
I think
need
it
this cow. Like
exists.
we all need this to stay sane, I think. Like, and I know that you've said before, like, it would be epic if they release the show and then soon after release the next Mass Effect. Like, that would just, there would be so much hype, and you would bring in so, like, a new, look at what Fallout did, right? It
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
exploded in terms of growth. So if they can land this show and have it be good, like the next Mass Effect, regardless of what anything is gonna have, is gonna bring in such a new audience and just have that hype there. So yeah, I it would be so great. Like, can you just imagine in the next like 5 or 6 years having like Exodus come out, and the Humanoid Origins game come out, and then the Mass Effect TV show, and then the actual next Mass Effect? Like, I would just be like, sci-fi fans, we're gonna be fed in the next, like, we're gonna have things to consume. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the way that the Fallout sales after the show came out were insane. And what's interesting
Completely.
about Fallout is the story of the show doesn't follow like a main character. It's, a unique story within a setting that already exists. And I think that's the perfect thing to do for Mass Effect. I don't want a show about Shepard. I don't want to see
Mhm.
canonized choices around Shepard. I would love to see, someone mention a show about Anderson. I would love to see that. And
Yeah,
Keith
100%,
Keith
yeah.
David has already said that he's interested in returning, obviously, but um I would love to see that. And First Contact would be a really good way to introduce people to, though I'm really not sure how I feel about Turians in live action. I feel like
Mm.
it would either be the best thing you'd ever seen or the worst
The worst.
thing
There's no in between.
ever. Yeah, there's no in between. Like, you cannot get that wrong.
Yeah. Well, what if, I mean, like, I know people have said, what's the point of like animating the show because the games are animated as well, but what if it's like a mix of animation and live action, Like, you animate all the non-humanoid like looking aliens, and then have like that would also look weird too, though. Like,
That'd be weird.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
I think if they didn't, the reason why I'm focusing on live action is because that's what the rumor was from the 2021 thing.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't really know for sure which I would prefer an animated, just because I think that would be way easier to do the
Mhm.
aliens, to include the aliens. Like, what is a live action Krogan gonna look like?
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
that's a great
like
point.
these, like,
How do you do that?
really, like, what? I just,
You can't make the face look right,
yeah,
because the
and
facial is like, yeah,
they just
I
look
have no
so
idea.
weird. Like, what is a Solarian gonna look like? Like, you have to think about their legs and their
Their
fingers and
head.
their torso.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously their head. So, yeah, I don't. What are these
Mm.
ads? Oh my god. F
We
off
have gotten
YouTube.
underwear ads. What is this? What
Yeah,
what?
I just want to say this is not stuff that I click on, okay? This is just YouTube being weird. I'm not weird, they're weird.
Yeah. Blame the algorithm.
Yeah, it's the algorithm, not me.
Yeah. Dumb algorithm.
I also forgot to ask you about when we were talking about weird Andromeda theories. I should have
Yes.
asked you this after the Korra thing, but have you heard about the Vetra is Saren's daughter theory?
Yes, I have. So I don't actually know why this is a thing. I've just heard of it. Um, yeah, so I'm actually I wouldn't mind just a quick little summary. Is it just like a like
I don't
what
remember the specific details. It's been a while since I've kind of looked at it,
it's just
but
a random thing.
yeah, I remember reading it and being like, "Oh, that's weird. Okay, next." Like,
Yeah,
I don't think I really thought much of it. I think it's an interesting theory, but again, I think it's like, why do there need to be so many connections to the original
yeah,
trilogy? That was
yeah.
my feeling, but I wasn't sure if you had heard of it.
I'd heard of it, yeah, but I like that one to me, like for me anyway, whenever I'm kind of like whenever I'm like enjoying a theory or subscribing to the theory, I need there to be at least like one or two or three solid like things like with the Korra having the same last name as the Elusive Man. That's a huge thing. And then on top of that, like her biotics being a lot higher than other, human biotics. Like there's a few different things there where you could be like, hmm. I'm just gonna think about this and give it pause for a second because this theory has some legs. Um, with the Vetrasaran thing, I'm genuinely like, what's the connection there? Like they're both Turians? Like is that the only thing? Is there more?
There was more to it. I'll have to look it up and see what I can find about it. I probably should have reread it before this, but
You know what? I think okay, this is just I last played Andromeda like a year ago, but I think it's because Vetra ran away from her parents or something. There was something about I don't know if I'm just making this up. There was something about her parents or her father, and I think that might have been why.
yeah, that probably could be
And then that
why.
might have been Saren. Yeah. I'm not sure the timeline adds up, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't really think that there's a point to do that either.
Yeah.
Like what does that add to the
Why?
story? Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have I mean, you could have I guess a small existential crisis for Vetra. Like for me, her story is very much tied to her sister. Like that was the main thing that I took out of it. So for me to kind of add another, to kind of add like daddy issues or something into that mix, I'm just like, she seems like she has her ish figured out. And she's just trying to be a good older sister. I'm not sure what adding in, oh hey, your father was, one of the like the head honcho in the attack of the Citadel.
And he's dead now.
I'm not sure what that would yeah, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure. She would probably know that, right? Like that there would be a huge plot hole for her not to know that because she was still in the Milky Way when the attack on the Citadel happened. So unless she was living under a rock or she didn't know that Saren was her father, I'm just there would have to be a lot of cartwheel writing
Yeah, and
going on
it's a
to fit
bummer.
in.
Sorry, I was just going to say it's a bummer that we'll never know. Like if those things were intended to be set up in the
Mm,
future, like Korra or Vetra or whatever.
right.
We're never
Unless they're in the next game. They
oh
could be in the next game.
no. I'm so
I
sorry.
just why are we seeing you had the video up where you were comparing whether the one Angara we were seeing was Jal, right?
Yeah,
We've
That
gotten two
that was
kind of
ridiculous.
Jal references, right?
I don't think that's Jaw. I don't think it's
The
Jaw.
month
The
I
clothing does
think
not
it's
match.
okay, but have you seen the thing where I said that I think that the person next to the Angara is Ryder?
Sorry, what was that?
Have
Could you
you
say that one more time?
so in the Geth the Geth whatchamacallit oh hang on one sec. Hang on. Someone's saying something about my mic. Mic is low? Hang on, I can't read this comment.
Is it?
Is my mic volume okay?
I mean, it
Do I have
sounds
to
fine to me. What does everybody everybody else chime
let,
in?
let me know. I can either increase or lower my mic volume. Anyway, the picture with the Angara and the Geth and the Asari, I think that the character to the left that's wearing like that Pathfinder style helmet. Um okay, all good? Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks
it sounds
guys.
fine.
I'm louder. Okay, I'll try to talk a little bit softer.
So
Okay,
Darius is
thanks,
over
guys.
here yelling. I saw that before you deleted it. I think it sounds fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
See, but I
No
think,
worries.
okay,
Okay.
let me see if I can
Do you think
find...
that's Ryder? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
The
know.
Pathfinder
I
helmet?
don't. You're
I'm
talking
convinced
about
it's
the
Ryder.
N7-day poster, right?
No, not the N7-day poster. The one from the art
trailer?
where it's the Angara and the one in the coat, where the Geth and Knight looking armor's there.
Oh yeah, that's the N7 poster. That's the new.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I when I hear poster, for some reason I think of the Geth poster.
Yeah, I do not think. See, okay, let me see if I can find a thing that on that. I had the humanoid video up so that everybody could see it, but I do not know if I think that those shapes were left intentionally vague so that they could change it if they need to, or so that they could.
Oh, okay.
Let me hold on. I'm pulling.
I am like completely on the Unhinged theory train of everything they do is intentional and they know what they're doing.
Okay, so if you, I mean, you can't see my screen right now. It'll be a few seconds, but
I can see it.
You're talking about the character on the left of the Angara,
yes,
right?
to the left of the Angara, yeah.
Okay,
the one where that guy's walking and then it's the back. What?
I see two eyeballs. I see an eyeball here, and I see an eyeball here.
Okay, I need to wait for your mouse.
That's why that does not.
Eyeball.
Oh shoot, you can't see my mouse.
And eyeball. Okay, wait, Kala, what?
Does no one else see the eyeballs?
Too low eyeball?
No one else sees the eyeballs.
Can you put a poll? Can you put a poll in the chat?
How do I make those? It does look like Admiral Akbar. Okay, it does. That's who I think of.
Oh no.
That's what I see.
Oh no,
I
it
see
does.
Admiral Akbar. How do I make?
Is this whole thing a trap? This whole Angara thing? It's just a trap. It's a trap.
Okay.
Okay, maybe just in the chat, guys. Do you see the eyeballs? Where are you seeing this character's eyes?
Does no one see?
I'm not seeing eyes.
Does no one see it? Oh my god. How? No, really.
I don't think I'm seeing eyeballs there. To me, that looks like the Pathfinder helmet, Kala. Like, am I going nuts?
That doesn't to me. That doesn't look like the Pathfinder helmet at all to me.
What?
I do not see it. No.
No.
See, and I think that's what's so fascinating about this.
Then why is there an Angara?
I think this Angara is not from I think this Angara was already in the Milky Way galaxy. That is my running theory.
Oh.
I don't think this.
So you think the Angara's okay.
I think that the Angara that we're seeing were set up by that conversation with the museum curator in Andromeda, who basically said, Angara could be in the Milky Way. And I think that that's what we're seeing here. I think that at some point, eventually, the council races have made contact with the Angara. And, now here they are. I do not think that but then again,
how could we not have met the Angara though? Like I'm just so like I would feel really the Angara were here and then but wait, that raises questions of if the Angara are here, then the Jardan must also be here. Right?
I think they're gonna be. Yeah. I think that I don't think that the Jardan have to be there for the Angara to be there because the Angara were not
they could have been
in the Helios cluster. Yeah.
Right.
But I think we're going to find out more. Maybe the Jardan are a future reveal if they want to, I think that they should be making this game with future sequels in mind. But
no, 100%.
I think to me, I think that's an alien. I don't see, because number one, why would Ryder be wearing a helmet inside?
Well, because they need to not show their face. Because Ryder could be anyone, right? We don't know if that's female Ryder. We don't know if that's male Ryder.
But I don't think the setting makes any sense for Ryder to wear the helmet on because no one else has a helmet on. This is a breathable atmosphere.
I originally thought it was Aquarian, but when I was looking at the build, it like in my head, it looks like it could be like Sarah Ryder, but that's just what I can't explain the Angara. Like, why would if there's an Asari at the table talking to an Angara with a Geth and Knight looking clothes, why would there also be a Quarian? It's just like this is the weirdest like You know, when an Angara, Asari, Geth, and Quarian walk into a bar type of scenario, like what is happening?
Yeah,
It's just to
that's why I
me,
think they
it could be Ryder because there's an Angara. You know what I mean? Like,
I
and
think
I
they did this
personally,
intentionally.
I'm unhinged. I think it's Jal. I think it's Jal because I'm unhinged. But
see, I don't think it's Jal because the clothing doesn't match.
no, yeah, I saw the thing, his I'm forgetting the thing he wears, the poncho looking thing, isn't as long.
Yeah, I think that that is either the thing behind the Angara. Either that is
Oh, the thing.
the
It's
thing.
referring to it's Ryder.
I also think that like if Ryder is going to be wearing the helmet, why wouldn't they have shoulder pads and the rest of their armor on? Like why wouldn't that be a complete set? So I guess for me, I do not think that that's Ryder. I see 2 eyeballs. Okay, I wish I could zoom in.
2 eyeballs. I need you to draw this so I can like frame it. Because where you put the eyeballs before just made me so happy.
I'm gonna do it. Cause you can't see my mouse. Is that?
No, I could see your mouse.
Okay, I see 1 eyeball here. Okay, everybody. Okay, you see this like very tiny blurry dot. Okay, I see 1 eyeball there, and then 1 eyeball there, right there, and there, and there. 2 eyeballs.
I love that. But then why? Why would there be eyeballs down there?
I think it's a new alien. I think. Okay, and I also think that, God, I hate that I have, okay, I also think that these, right here, I think this is a new alien. I think this might be an android. Or some type of AI. Okay. They don't have regular
wearing
hair.
Heels.
It looks like they've got some like maybe some stuff on their skin, like instead of hair. Let me find. I actually zoom in to this thing. Okay,
we zoom in on this every day. Okay, every day.
I do not see a Quarian head shape here either.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Can you please just pull up the Pathfinder helmet? Just pull it up. I need to try at least one attempt to try to convince you. Just pull up the Pathfinder helmet.
Okay.
The one from the.
I'm not gonna Google anything on my computer.
Oh, right. Just do it on your phone.
What's
I just need to convince. No, I just need to convince you.
I know what the Pathfinder help, and I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That you think this is the white portion here, and this is the blue helmet portion. I know what you're talking about. I just don't. I just don't see it. And again,
because there's eyeballs.
I think that Ryder wouldn't be wearing a helmet inside, and Ryder wouldn't only be wearing a helmet without the rest of their Pathfinder armor. So while yes, I can see the helmet shape that you're talking about, I don't think it makes sense for it to be the helmet. Yeah. So that's why I see something else. I see 2 eyeballs.
Oh no, Kala, I think I see what you're seeing. I see what you're seeing now, and I see the Admiral Akbar vibe.
Yeah, I see Admiral Akbar.
Oh no.
I see it. That's why I think it makes sense that it would be like a new alien or something. I think that they're going to have to introduce new aliens, like
100%.
Yeah. Like what if
they have to introduce something?
Yeah, and I think that we've seen, I think there's another one too. Okay, here we go. Oh. Okay, these here, God, everything looks so much more pixelated when you zoom in. I think
all right.
I don't know if this is like a human, but I definitely think that this is Also, why didn't they give us a better version of this picture? Damn it.
I know, right? Like they were like, oh, here's the really large file size so you can zoom in. And it's like, dude, give it like double resolution.
Yeah, what is this?
We want to zoom all the way in, like see their eyes. Zoom in on their eyeballs.
And I tried to put everything into Photoshop and like clean it up as much as I could, but it's just impossible.
Oh no, this is
too pixelated.
Yeah.
But I think that the ones standing there are also aliens. I think that this is like maybe a Quarian without a mask on. I don't know. I didn't. No, I didn't. Never mind, because their legs didn't match.
The legs, yeah.
I don't remember what I said this one was, but basically I think
a lot of people think this is Jack. This is Jack, right? A lot of people have said that it kind of gives Jack vibes.
Interesting. I don't really see it, but there's also this long-necked figure up on the.
Oh, don't get me started with the long-neck guy.
Yeah, there's Mr. Longneck. There's just so much in this image, and they just, oh my God. Okay, add. Why do I get ads on my
Ad
own
in the middle of your own
videos? My
video?
own
How dare.
video. I want to get the full picture up here.
At least it's not like a underwear ad, actually,
Yeah, I
for a
know,
game.
right? So yeah, I think that these two things are alien here. When you're zoomed out, I think you can see it a little bit better, but just how kind of weird they look. And
I don't know.
they have
I
facial
got the
features.
impression that the dude on the left was maybe like AI style. But
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like the
yeah, I
figure on the
think
right's probably human. Like, they're wearing heels. Very like
really, but
she might
she doesn't
be.
have hair.
I mean, you could just be rocking like a lit, shaved
Like
head.
a swim cap.
No. No, 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 no. Okay, oh man, I need to send you a picture.
Hold on, I
I've
zoomed
seen
in
people's
hair.
hair. Zoom
There,
in on the
she's on
whole
the
thing.
left here. Okay.
I think
The shape right here is like that is like implying hair, but it more reminds me of what Edie has where
I
it's
think
like
it's dyed. I think it's just dyed like white hair or yellow hair.
like you think she has short hair like Jack?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think so. Like
interesting.
I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
don't
almost
see
like
that.
I personally see it as almost like really short like African American hair where it's just a certain type of texture and then it's like dyed yellow or white. That's what I'm seeing.
I guess I don't see a texture here, which is why to me it more reads like
I
something
could
that
see how
Edie
it looks like a
has.
cap. I can
Yeah.
see how it looks like a cap because it kind of like cuts off at the back, but I don't know. I think they're human. I think the dude on the left.
Also, a lot of
I don't know
people
what's
see
kind
the
of going on with their
eyes.
face.
Okay, a lot of people in chat see the eyes on Admiral Akbar. I just want to point it out so I'm
Oh,
not crazy.
okay, guys. So it's either Ryder or it's Admiral
It's
Akbar.
Admiral Akbar. He's coming to
100%.
he's coming to the Mass Effect universe.
The
So
whole, guys, the next plot is just going to be it's a trap. The whole game's a trap. Liara's walking into a trap, talking with the Angara and her Geth friend. It's just
literally it's all just a
I
trap.
love that.
Yeah.
I hate that I can see the eyes, like the eyeballs. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, they're there. Why did I highlight this? Oh, because look at there was other additional figures in the background and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if those are like virtual aliens and they've taken jobs."
Oh,
You see that? Like, there's like a
no.
Solarian shape
Yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hang on. In the middle, it kind of looks like my first thought was it kind of looks like Thane, so it could be a Drell
Wait,
in the middle
who?
there. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
The red or the blue?
The red in the background. Yeah, not the dude with the hair
Oh, interesting. I don't
in the
see
background,
anything
yeah.
there. I only see a Solarian here.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
really see anything here.
That's super
But
interesting
again,
though.
they did this vague enough that any of these theories could be possible.
Oh, on the left it could be Groot. I'm seeing Groot.
Groot. Oh my god, you're right. I do see it. Yeah. I do see it. Oh
I love how
God.
though our default is going to be like, "Oh my god, is this a virtual alien?"
Oh my god. I
It's just
mean,
going to
that
be
is
the default.
I think that's what
It's
I
a
said in
virtual
my
alien.
video. I think I said
Oh
that
yeah.
I think yeah. I went
I love
unhinged. I
that.
mean, that's what N7 Day is for.
Oh, 100%. If you're not going unhinged, you're not doing N7 Day, right? Like you have to go all the places.
And like, what is this person standing here? Like, there's an arm, and like, what is this?
Oh, I've convinced myself this is my personal headcanon that it's Tali. But I do think it
Tali.
might be a Quarian. It might be a Quarian.
I think they have straight
Because the back
legs,
of
so I don't
her,
know.
the back. Oh, really? I'm seeing it kind of bent. If you look at the back right leg. Oh, it's kind of
Wow.
hard to see the
I
silhouette.
wish Gamble could see this video just so that he knew how closely we were looking at these very blurry,
Oh no, I
very
feel like
incoherent pixelated garbage. It's like nothing.
he individually checked each figure to make sure that everyone had a certain light fixture on them or whatever, so that it was so vague, and he made sure that it was pixelated enough that we could do anything.
Yeah.
We could just guess and be like, yeah, it's this person.
Yeah, they did a very interesting job. Also, I really hate the way this Torian looks. I can't.
I wanted to say that I had an existential crisis about the Turian. Because you know that I unhingedly think it's Garrus, but I feel like it might not be Garrus. And I had a mental breakdown about it. Like, if you look at the eyepiece, it doesn't match Garrus's
It doesn't.
eyepiece in
Yeah,
the
it
games.
doesn't.
And now I'm devastated. I genuinely thought that it matched. I don't know. Some people are saying it's Garrus. I don't know.
I don't think it's
just
Garrus.
the armor looks like him, and then oh man, I think I desperately want it to be him, but I'm a little unsure now. Either he got a new eyepiece or you didn't think it was Garrus, right?
No, I don't think it's Garrus. But see, my problem with this image is that number one, we have the legs from Andromeda. This is not what the legs look like in the original trilogy. That is not what Garrus looks like in the original trilogy. Also, anatomically, this right arm here, it drives me crazy because
it's longer.
It's like the other hand ends here and the shoulder's there. Why the hell is this? This should be like up here. It should start here and end like here. So that really bothers me. Sorry. It really bothers me. But that does not match Garrus's eye patch. So, I mean, his eye visor. But I will say, though, that only 2 Taurians in the entire series have visors, and both of them are our companions. So...
New companion alert?
It's like, okay. But again, I don't want another visored Taurian. I don't even like the visors. I think they're silly, and I like
We are discriminating against visored Taurians now. How dare.
I know, right? Also, did you see that this lady seems like she's holding a knife or something?
Wait, what? Okay, wait, I need to wait for your mouse.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
She's got... There's like a sharp-looking blade.
Can you zoom in?
I think I zoomed in. So, yeah, here we go. And you can see she's holding like... It looks like a blade.
Wait, what?
Because what else would that be?
I'm trying to... Oh.
Right? Like, what else would that
be?
Okay,
wait. Okay. Unhinged take. Pure unhinged. But you know how there's a weird jellyfish looking thing in that?
You mean the one that's shaped like Omega?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, the thing that's right here, there's a weird jellyfish looking thing, right? What if the jellyfish is holding the knife?
How? Wait, which jellyfish?
No, I swear isn't there a jellyfish in this tube thing? Okay, wait, zoom back out to the... Oh man, okay, wait, I need to get this on my... Let me try to open it up. I would love if the feminine figure was just holding a knife.
I think if the lighting
walks up, instant chaos.
Oh my god. No, I think the lighting would be brighter if that was inside the tubing with the thing.
I'm seeing a jelly. Is that not a jellyfish?
Right here, this is a jellyfish. And this is like, I think the remnants of like another jelly, but there's no jellyfish 100%. Down here.
Jellyfish holding the knife. It was the jellyfish in the nightclub. And I don't know the other parts of the clue thing, but they're big dumb jellyfish. There you go, guys.
They are, yeah. But now we have some dancing jellyfish. They look like they've got these bangles.
Oh my goodness.
Are we finally going to see some like equality when it comes to the dancers?
100%. I need some
jellyfish.
hand art dancers on the floor.
And Volus.
And 100% they will be better than Shepard. Like, no contest. I don't know how they would move, but it would be better than Shepard.
Okay, and tell me this does not look like Joker's hat. I know it's not.
Oh no, Hella. No, I'm 100%.
Like it, right?
It's Joker. It's it to me. So I originally didn't think, because a lot of people were like, Joker's there and Edie's there too. And I think in my video, I completely pointed out Edie as like the Asari in the background. Like I was such an idiot. But I think Edie's there too, if you look at the orange.
I don't think I covered that in this video because
oh shoot.
At the time I was like, I don't really think so. But then I think I tweeted about it later and I was like, holy shit, what if it is?
Yeah, no, it could be. I'm telling you. They put enough in there where, you know what, guys? Everybody's alive. It's just everybody's back. Oh man,
they really did just put in enough. Like I said, they put in enough to keep us going for a year.
Yeah, like they legit. I'm telling you, Gamble just went through each figure and was like, "Is there enough right here to make them think this is someone?" And then he approved each one. Yeah, right in that corner. I could see that being Joker. Nobody else wears that iconic cap that we like. Obviously, people wear caps, but that we know of in our squad, Caps or Joker, man.
I didn't think that jellyfish was a Hanar. I know that this is a jellyfish and this is a Hanar. To people in chat, I very clearly know this, but Shepard calls the Hanar a big dumb jellyfish, so that's what I was calling them, and I was respecting Shepard's honor.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh.
No, and wait, Anderson wears the hat? Oh, in ME3 he does. Yes,
true.
You're right.
Also, this lady here is really pretty. And she's wearing the same outfit that all of the doctors, Liara, Chakwas, wear in the original trilogy, especially in Mass Effect 1. And it even has the same arm patch.
Are you saying that this is our new doctor companion?
How cool would it be, though? She's very pretty.
That would be awesome. Would they? I mean, obviously, they're revealing like a Turian wearing a visor, so the likelihood is high that it might be a companion. But do you think there's anyone else in this shot? Like the potential Ralloy? Like, do you think that's a companion?
Okay. I think that this shot is really fascinating because, again, they released just enough information where any of this could be anything. Our companion could be in here. The villain could be in here. You know, I mean,
100%.
Anything
that
could be
long
in
neck
here.
dude.
Yeah, and so I really don't know what to think, but I do think that this could be a Ralloy based on the head shape. Kind of looks like a beak, but this isn't exactly what Ralloys were. Their explanation is like more vague, so this could be it, but from the picture that I painted in my mind of a Ralloy, they were more, I guess they didn't have such humanoid bodies, I think is my complaint. Like this very much looks like another humanoid body, and I think that I think I'm kind of tired of seeing like a humanoid body with like, you know, the 3 fingers or the 2 fingers the Turian, Quarian, Solarian legs that they all have. I'm kind of tired of everything kind of falling into that category. So I would like to see something different. If this is the Ralloy, I think their design is maybe a little bit bland. So I guess
we don't know, right? Because the legs are cut off.
Yeah,
there
we don't
could be wacky stuff going on. It turns into like twisty legs.
Yeah, those could be chicken feet under there. We don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, every single time you say Ralloy, I think about that one thumbnail you made of just a chicken in like a space helmet. And it makes me laugh every single time. Every time I hear Ralloy.
I know, right? That's what I think of too.
Yeah, it's just the chicken in the space helmet because it's just, I would love if they did something like that.
Yeah, I would too. So I would love to see something more just out there. I feel like a lot of, and we know that for Andromeda, they dialed back the alien design so that people could cosplay them. And that I think is like, I think it's really cool that they're considering the cosplay community, but I also think that's a terrible reason to not make stuff weird, especially aliens. So
do you remember the Gamble tweet on for the new N7 where he specifically was like, we wanted the cosplayers to have a field day? I feel like that's something that they do consider, right? Like that almost lends to the theory that they're going to go more humanoid for a few of the aliens.
And I think that's,
because they want the cosplayers.
I like, no disrespect to the team and no disrespect to the cosplay community, but I think that's lame. How many people do you actually
build the world
see
because of cosplay?
Yeah, how many people do you actually see out there cosplaying Krogan? How many people do you actually, like, yes, there are people who cosplay the Quarians, and sometimes I see Garrus, but I don't think that the design should be limited on the possibility that someone might cosplay them.
Yeah.
How many people have you ever seen? I've never seen an Angara cosplay.
No, I haven't. But I'm not really in the cosplay. I haven't really dove into the cosplay community stuff. But I mean, also, like, if they do want to make the Raleigh just a chicken in a spacesuit, like, people can buy chicken suits and then put a space helmet on And then boom, you have the
There you
Ralloy, you
go.
know? Like
Perfect. Yes.
you could totally do a whole bunch of stuff. It doesn't have to just be no, but just seeing one of the comments, chicken Boba Fett. Now I'm just gonna imagine the Ralloy's this, but with chicken feet. And it's just a
Amazing.
super thin leg ending in a chicken
But
foot.
yeah, I think I
love
just
it.
want to see them get weird with it. You know, I look at the concepts of
Yeah.
Andromeda and I'm like, wow, I really like the concepts that they had for the Angara. And I'm not a huge fan of what was translated into the game.
Mm.
So I just think that there's a lot of missed potential there. And like, I hate saying this. I hate because I'm not very eloquent about how I word this, but I think that Andromeda could have been more successful and people would have been more interested in the characters and companions if they were more appealing to look at.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I don't want to say that they're all ugly or anything, but
Yeah.
let's not pretend that the Asari look like anything from the original trilogy Asari.
Yeah. Well, that's Frostbite, right?
I mean,
Like
you know, part of it is Frostbite and like the animation, but also part of that was, you know,
part of
the
the design.
designers and the, you know, actually translating that from a model to in game. I mean, and it's unfortunate because Andromeda had really good concepts. Like I look at the concept art and I'm like, wow, I really like all of this, but there was a lot that was lost
Yeah.
when it was brought into the game.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate because I think that, again, I think if I had found PB more attractive, I probably would have romanced her. But I just didn't find her attractive.
Design choice.
And other people are going to disagree, and that's totally fine. That's fine. I think whatever you want. But like, I didn't find any Asari that I was like, wow, she's really pretty. Can I?
Well, they all
her?
basically had the same face. So to be fair, if you didn't like the generic Lexi or Dr. Lexi face, then you wouldn't be interested, right?
Same, but also you have to think like,
Sad.
you know, Jal was a romance option and I don't really think he's attractive. I think he could have been, but they gave him scary teeth and scary eyeballs.
No, but you know why though, Kala?
Oh my
gosh. Because they had to set up the Angara art from the end.
Oh my god. But
I can't see a world though, right? Because we're talking about that. Why would you make a design choice with teeth like that unless there was a reason? There's no way, right? You don't go into the teeth creator being like, hey, let's make this the scariest looking thing that's not like, you know, hot vampiric scary. Like, it's just straight up like, what is happening here? It's just
kind of scary, yeah. And I really don't like shitting on other people's work. Like, I understand that someone put a lot of time and effort into that. And I respect that. I just don't think that what could have been is what was. I think there's a lot of lost potential that Andromeda has. And
which is why I think it's the engine. Like,
I think some of it is the engine, but I also do think that just some of the designers and, you know, there was a lot lost in just the models, just the basic models without the animating, without the expressions. And I think that's a bummer because, like, not to be superficial, but when you go and play, you know, the original trilogy, you know, everybody is very attractive, and it doesn't have to do with like
hot AF.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to do with like any specific like features of like, you know, masculine or feminine. Like it just some of them are so uniquely designed. Like I really like Saren's design, and I love the uniqueness of it, and it's very distinct, and you don't feel like really anybody in Andromeda has something that's sharp and like distinct that makes those characters really stand out from just a visual perspective. And to me, that's like the biggest letdown of Andromeda, is that the aesthetics of the game are just not for me. They're just not.
I really am desperate for the next Mass Effect to have a hot villain, because I feel like Mass Effect just hasn't had that. Like, obviously not the Archon or any of the Ket.
Did you not think that Saren was attractive?
No. Like, that's what I'm saying. They need to go back to that.
Yeah.
Like Saren was hot. And then we had the Elusive Man, I'm not really into that type of thing. But, generally the villains were a bunch of big robots. They were Reapers, and then there was Kai Lang and stuff. But, just give us a good old hot villain that wants to destroy everything. Where you're kind of
Exactly.
just exactly, like somebody said, like Arya, like give us the Arya-esque villain. Where we're just kind of when they're like, hey, do you want to come join our side? We kind of think about it for a second. We're not thinking about it from a Archon perspective where we're like, nope, we don't want anything to do with that. Just give us a hot villain. Which is why I kind of want the N7, the new N7, to be a bad guy. Because they're giving off a hot vibe.
See,
but
I know we've already spoken about the N7 to death.
I love it when we bring this up and then you immediately sigh like, oh no. We have to go through this again.
I'm just frustrated with how little they didn't reveal, but also revealed at the same time.
I know.
Okay, this is actually the perfect segue into my last few questions.
Oh right, the cue cards.
Yeah.
We got so sidetracked.
I have asked majority of them though, so
okay.
What are you expecting this N7 day? And if say Dragon Age does come out before N7 day, what are you expecting to see? What are you expecting to see revealed?
Mm-hmm.
Are you expecting, something bigger than last year or something along the same scope? What are you expecting?
Yeah, for sure. And also just seeing Lopez in the chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you enjoyed the trailer. I spent a long time on that video. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, it would be cool if some of the things that I said in the video is true, but thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, with regards to this N7 day, honestly, Kala, I flip-flopped on this about a week ago. Because I was thinking with the Dreadwolf stuff, and I was just thinking maybe we would get something less hype in order to make sure that Dreadwolf, has a solid marketing cycle and all of that, But just thinking about it, if you think about what we've gotten up to this point, and the last N7 day being a full 30-second reveal of a new character that's most likely going to be very important to the next game, they can't dial that back, because just thinking about the one commenter that kind of replied to Gamble, who was like, you can't just keep giving us crumbs and expecting us to accept that after you have done the trailer and all that, that the vibe was we need more. So originally I thought that Dreadwolf was going to release probably December time or something, but after seeing all the news about the devs are happy with it, and I think Jeff Grubb was mentioning something the game's gonna come out soon after release and stuff, after the reveal in summer. I'm thinking what if Dreadwolf drops I don't know, September or something, and then there's I'm not entirely sure how long the marketing cycle would have to go for, but I'm not expecting a huge reveal this N7 day, but I do think we could get something similar to last year where, they did it in engine. What if we get another in engine things, but maybe they kind of, bring in some of the voice casts. Maybe we get another Liara clip, because we've seen her enough times. They could easily just do a throwaway thing with her where it wouldn't break the internet because we know she's coming back, but I could easily see what if they do Liara in game engine, and they get Ali Hillis to have her say a line or two. That would kind of be awesome, and maybe give us a little bit of insight into what she's working on or something. But to go back to something I had said way back earlier, each N7 day tease has connected to the last one. So because the entirety of the last tease was centered around this character, I assume that the next thing we see has to involve something about this character. So whether they're the protagonist or the antagonist, I think we're gonna get something that gives insight into who they are, or at least gives us, a few crumbs so that we could kind of figure out more about them. Because yeah, I think it's gonna be something connected. It's gonna be something connected, because that's what they've been doing. And I think it's going to be about the same level as last year, because Dreadwolf needs to somewhat have a little bit of, room to breathe. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And what are
What
we
do you
gonna
think?
do without what are we gonna do without Gamble's tweets to go through?
Oh my god,
Dude,
Kala, I
I'm so
had a
mad.
mental breakdown when I saw that on the private likes. My first thought was, "Oh my god, we're about to lose the Gamble likes
Dude, we
on
go
N7
like
day."
I look through his likes all the time too.
It's
So
research.
it is.
It is
because
literally
he's
research.
yeah, he's very specific about what he interacts with on Twitter, and he knows that people like us. I mean, he even responded to your tweet, so
The
he
fact that
knows.
he responded puts more weight on his previous likes, right?
It does, yeah.
Because if
knows.
he found it unhinged, and he was like, can you just leave me alone and just let me like whatever, he wouldn't have replied.
Exactly.
So the fact he replied kind of lends more weight to the one thing that you showed on screen, where he liked Hal's tweet on, "Is this Liara and her Geth bodyguard?" Like, I don't think he does troll likes. Like, I think he does. Yeah, you're on the right track.
I totally agree. And also, your post was not like, it's not like Mass Effect was
I wasn't
trending
at him.
and
Yeah.
you didn't tag him. It wasn't like super popular or anything
Yeah.
for him to like come across it. So
Which
that's
is
what
why
makes
I'm
it
like,
more
what?
suspicious. Yeah, exactly. We're watching you, Gamble. Okay, we're watching your every move.
Yeah, Gamble. I don't know if you're here right now, but
yeah, if you're here right now,
if you're here right now, good luck.
Give us a sign.
Good luck with the development. But
yeah,
also, we see your likes and we know what's up.
Yeah, he liked my tweet where I posted about my video talking about how I think the next game is about a dying star. Okay, he liked that tweet.
Oh, that is 100%. Like, he didn't just like it. He must have watched that video.
That's why I'm like, ooh, what does this mean? So
it means black holes, Kala, because you know what happens when stars die?
Yeah.
They turn into black holes. I was literally going to bring that up in my video, but I was like, okay, this is already at 42 minutes. I really wanted to include that though.
Do I swear people like videos that are longer? Like, the longer the better. And I'm sure you've experienced that your longer videos get more attention.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a YouTube thing where they're trying to push people to stay on the site longer. Like, that's my current ongoing theory.
Oh yeah, I guess that's like, a good theory. Yeah.
They'll push the bigger videos. So they're like, hey, look, you spent 40 minutes on YouTube as opposed to like 5.
Yeah, and I did notice that, and lately I've been working on I'm trying to go over the entire Mass Effect timeline. Like the entire, and I think that's going to be a long video, but God, long videos are so hard to make. They're tired.
So hard.
Yeah.
Oh, Kala, I am so burned out after that 142-minute. Like, it took me a long time to figure that out.
People really underestimate, not to like go on a soapbox, whatever. People really underestimate how much work goes into those long format videos. Like,
oh, it takes a long time.
It's
exponential.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a linear thing. It's the longer minutes that you put in. You have to make it still coherent with everything you just talked about. So it is like exponential in terms of like editing the script, and then yeah, it's a lot.
It is, yeah. But as far as what I expect this year, I really don't know. Again, he responded to that comment of that person who was basically criticizing how they're just teasing and not actually revealing anything. And I think a lot of people do feel that way. I don't particularly feel that way, but I think a lot of people do. So I think it was like a valid complaint. But I think if he's going to take that into account for next year, I think that maybe they would solidify something, like, I don't know if they would say this early on, like, the protagonist is not Shepard, or, something like that. I don't know how they could even do that in like a proper way. I have no idea. Or basically just say, hey, this is your new N7. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But can you imagine
though, Kala, if for an N7 day, they dash everybody's hopes that it's not Shepard?
God, I think
like it would be, which is why I'm leaning more towards, Shepard is coming back, because there would be a firestorm across all the social media if they dash that.
Yeah.
It would be crazy though.
I I don't know if that's something that they can reveal before the game comes out.
They would have to. No. They would have to. That's a marketing thing right
Well,
there.
I
If
mean,
Shepard's
like,
back.
I guess what I mean is like we are nowhere near official marketing for the game. Like, we're still very much just in the
Oh,
N7. I mean, like,
I know what you mean.
closer to the
Yeah.
release and like official reveals and stuff like that. You know, we're still very much in
Right.
the early teases. I think that they kind of shot themselves in the foot with last year though, because
Oh, really?
I think that clip, not only did a lot of people think it was going to be Shepard, me included,
Yeah.
which on one hand that's probably my fault, like it's not necessarily anybody's fault or their fault. I just think that a lot of people felt that way. So it's hard to like look at that and be like, yeah, that was a good thing for them to reveal. I don't know. But when I say that I think they shot themselves in the foot, because I think that every year is going to have to be bigger than the last.
Mm.
And if they are revealing something, I thought last year was a pretty big reveal. Not only did they have, you know, the video and all of the messages that were affiliated with the reveal.
The Epsilon Oculon,
yeah. But then they also had this huge poster with, you know, and then they had that
zoom-ins, yeah.
that statement. Yeah, it was a lot. So I guess if every year is going to have, they're setting the expectation for every year to be bigger, I just don't know what that realistically looks like.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, right? Like they're not dumb. Like they are a very smart group of
definitely
people.
not. Yeah.
They probably knew that we would kind of think that way. So, and like obviously they're much more inside than the insiders. Like they knew, okay, Dreadwolf's probably going to release around here. Oh my god, it was the chicken helmet thing. I love that so much. On screen, the thumbnail. So they probably took all this into account, which means that they would have known that the next year would have to be bigger and better, you know? Also, wow, you just got another five gifted
Oh, thank you, Chad.
in the chat.
Everybody, make sure to say thank you to Chad and welcome to the N7 squad. Or
Welcome
N7
to the
agents.
squad,
I'm
yo.
not the squad. That's Mr. Holfen.
N7 agents. Yes. Welcome to the
My
N7
bad.
agents. So to me, especially with Gamble replying to that one tweet that was like, you know, a bit critical, I think he gets it. Like the fact that he was like fair and then he said something along the lines of like, we have things to reveal to you guys, but you'll have to wait and see. And the things that we have given to you guys, there is a lot there, like more than you think or something along those lines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I think especially Gamble is hyper aware of the fact that the teases can't get like worse over time. You know, like they have to slowly ramp up. And if production does start this year, because Dreadwolf will release sometime this year, like that's the rumor, then we would technically start getting more, right? Like we would start getting more snippets and stuff like that. And I feel like the way that they presented the N7 last year, it was very like if you think about the relay, the way they presented the relay, it was just something random at the end of like a blog. You know, it was just like you clicked the download video and then that was it. I think they understand that N7 Day is almost like a marketing experience where like it is just 2 to 3, or I think it was like, what was it, 4 to 5 hours of time where that was the place to be. And, you know, on Twitter, like that's the thing people are talking about. Mass Effect is trending, N7 Day is trending. So I feel like they understand that they need to take advantage of that. So they're not going to ramp it down. They're only going to ramp it up as more and more details come out, especially as they get more into production. That's what makes sense to me. Like, I think if they do anything else, then they will probably, you know, they'll lose people. They will, like, because people are getting frustrated. So I hope that they're aware of it. And Gamble seems like a very, you know, finger on the pulse of the fan base type of guy. So, yeah, I hope we get something cool. I hope we get something awesome.
I do too. I just hope that, you know, while I want the next game to come out soon and all this stuff, my biggest thing is like, I just want the devs to work in a good environment. I don't want them to deal with
Mhm.
crunch. I don't want them to get laid off. I don't want BioWare to close, and I want Dreadwolf to do well so that Gamble and his team are given every resource and all the time and money that they need to have to make Mass Effect 5. Because I think,
Mhm.
you know, like I made a whole video kind of talking about it. I don't really like to harp on that kind of stuff, but ultimately, I just hope that the team is doing well and being treated well, and we'll get the game when we get it. I think in the meantime, like we talked about, there's going to be other games to play. So I'm not like too worried about it. I just, God, I think about this all the time. I get a lot of comments from gamers who are older
Mm.
and who are like, I hope I'm alive when the next game comes out. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
No, same. I
Yeah.
see that a lot.
And like, I have health issues. So like sometimes I think about it too, but it's different when, you know, I actually had a comment from someone who was like, I'm 78 and I want to play the next Mass Effect game before I die. And I was like, oh my God, what like a thing
Yeah.
to like, I just like, it touched me because I was like, for one, I think it's awesome that people in their 70s are watching gaming YouTube videos and
Yeah.
interacting with, you know, stuff like that. But
100%.
also, I just hope that they can play it because there was a community member of the Dragon Age team. Her name is Granny Gaming.
Yeah. I heard about this. I don't follow Dragon, but I heard about this.
Yeah, and she was diagnosed with cancer in 2022 and decided she was not going to take treatment, and she died later that year. So she's never going to get to play the game, and I think about that all the time. She was an extremely nice lady too, just extremely kind, and she was just a very nice person in the community, and she never got to play it, and that makes me so sad. So I hope that I hate that we're kind of moving in a direction where games are taking so long to be made. For people like that, you know, it's a weird thing to kind of think about, but and kind of like a doomer way to end the conversation. But I hope the devs are doing well, and I hope that everybody lives to the next game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure, for sure. And like, I'm sure that's on their minds too, you know? Like we hear about like 2029 and stuff like that, and we're like, oh my goodness, that's like 5 years away and stuff like that. But honestly, like I think that like I would 100%, and I know like a lot of games have been, you know, taking different tacks of, you know, trying to add like bloat or something, you know, like all the planets in Starfield and all that, like the thousands of planets. Like I wouldn't mind having a game for the next Mass Effect that's a little bit shorter. Like I would take like a to complete like a 65 to 70 hour game if it means that I can get it in like 3 to 4 years. Like I would take that. I know a lot of people wouldn't, and maybe like that almost lends itself to a bit of like DLC and all of that stuff afterward. But if we can get the game sooner, I would totally be down for something like that. But again, like I feel like that's also coming at it from like I don't have a lot of time to play games. Like I'm already struggling to get through Origins.
No, I totally
you know, and that's like a like not too long game. I mean, there's a lot, but you know, like I would take a shorter game for a faster release date any day.
Yeah, and I want to address a few things in the comments. Someone said, Mass Effect 4, not 5. There is no Mass Effect 4 currently. Andromeda was just a spin-off from the original.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Wait, let me grab my snack.
Oh, okay.
So I can crunch it for you to.
If you want to
go off.
Okay, if you want to.
No, I think you. No, you go off.
No. I'm talking to the person who commented this. If you want to call it Mass Effect 5 or Mass Effect 4, that's totally fine. Do whatever you want. But the game is currently being called 5 by BioWare. It is in the trailer metadata, it's in the concept art, and devs have actually said it. Mark Dara did an interview last month and he called it Mass Effect 5. So if you want to call it 4, I don't care. I don't care. But it is being called 5 by BioWare, and Andromeda was 4 during its development, which is in the trailer metadata for that as well. So do what you want, but don't try and correct me because I am right.
I know, right? Oh God, I just hate it. Also, there was a super chat.
Yeah,
by
I wanted
Hollywood
to say
guy.
also Hollywood guy. I love these theory videos. I keep Emmy alive, and I did like your AI theory about the rogue villain could be correct. Kayla, keep it up. I think that was Atharia's theory about the rogue AI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Atharia's theory. So yeah, she.
It's okay, Hollywood guy. We just need to convince Kala. She will jump on the train of it's a rogue AI villain. I just love how it's so counter. This is the one thing that I think we heavily disagree on is the rogue AI or the new N7. It's
Oh
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing.
I just.
Where you're like, it's the protagonist. And I'm like, no, it's the antagonist. And you're like, it's us. And I'm like, no, it's an AI.
I just think it has to be us because I think for marketing, like I just think that with Mass Effect's marketing and N7 being so intrinsic to the identity of the brand,
Yeah.
I just don't think that they would do that. But again, we have no idea. Like we are so like far from finding out too. Like we have years of speculation
well, let's hope.
ahead of us.
Let's hope that this N7 day, right? But honestly, though, on the topic of Mass Effect 4 versus 5, if this N7 day reveal is just the title alone, I would get up and clap. Like, I would be like, yes, finally, we know what to call it. We know what to title our videos.
Oh my God. And then people
there
would
will
stop.
be no more arguments about the damn title.
And I don't mean to be like rude when I explain the 4 or 5 thing, but I am just so tired of getting comments.
We
like
are
that
tired. We get at least 2 comments every day.
Every day.
Like, it is exhausting.
And like it's such a silly thing to argue about. Who cares?
Who cares?
I hate to like harp on it. It just people are so rude about it and so condescending, and I'm like, okay, you're rude and
it's like an
insta
hide though. It's like an insta hide. It's like, oh, thank you for letting me know that you're that person because now I can hide you forever.
I usually do hide people because people like it's one thing if people are like, why are you calling it 5? I thought it was 4.
Yeah,
like, it's one thing if people
and then
are
you
curious.
could just genuinely some people are like, oh, I didn't realize there's a 5th game, and then I'm like, yeah, there was this one, and some people are genuinely like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
it's rare though.
If you're like genuinely curious, I will help explain it to you. But God, people come in and like I had someone just recently basically call me an idiot, and then I corrected him and showed him proof, and he deleted his comment, and I was like, yeah, leave, never show
and then they don't comment
me.
back. Whenever we present all the evidence, they never comment back, and I'm like, yeah, because like we are the content creators for this game.
Like,
why would we be just making up numbers?
Why would I? And also, what is the point of pushing a narrative like that? Oh, it's 5.
I don't know.
4.
It's I don't know. And honestly, I am beyond caring at this point.
I don't like. I genuinely, I'm so tired of it. I just want them.
Try to use the Mass Effect. I try to call it the next Mass Effect. It's just it makes the title longer, which is annoying. But
I just wish that we would get a title because I bet a title
just give me the
would
title.
Have pretty big implications because obviously Mass Effect 5 is not going to be the game's actual title. Like there's no way that they're going to continue with the numbered series. And if they were, it would have to be 5 because obviously Andromeda is being included in some capacity. But I don't think that they will.
And they're calling it 5.
Yeah, and they are. And I just don't see I think that eventually we'll get some type of title, like a subtitle, like Andromeda was, and something new.
Yeah.
And it'll have major implications, whatever it is. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
We could just wait
until... It's not, but we do rage about it.
Yeah, we can just wait until they reveal whatever the next game is going to be called, and then we can all argue about that.
I feel like if and when the title will be revealed, I need Gamble to like troll reveal it. Like I need it to be in the exact same format as the other, like the Epsilon Oculon Nebula thing, where it's like we get 3 different clips, right? The first one will say like mass, the second one will say effect.
Or no, just letters.
And then we wait to just every single 5 minutes they give us another letter. And then we could all on Twitter just be like guessing at what it is. That would be actually hilarious.
That would be so evil, and Gamble would totally do something like that.
He would do it.
He would do it. Yeah.
He would do it, which is why I almost want them to do it. So we could just be sitting there screaming.
He's like, who is that Austin Powers villain with the pinky? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, yes.
I know
I
someone
know
in
his face.
chat.
I just don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, the bald guy.
Yeah, someone in chat
Yeah.
is gonna remind me. That is Gamble every N7 day, and then like that other meme.
Yeah, Dr. Evil.
Yeah, Dr. Evil. Yeah, Dr. Evil.
Oh my
That
God.
is Gamble every N7 day, and like every time he tweets. Like I know when he tweeted about the Fallout show, he was making that face when he posted that little emoji. I know.
100%.
Yeah, he's a sneaky little gremlin.
Mm-hmm.
So every time he tweets, I hear the mwahaha, behind
100.
his...
Definitely. He hits tweets going like mwahaha. Like that is what he does. He hits posts and he's like, yep.
He does.
I know what I'm doing.
It's hilarious. He knows what he's doing. So I think this N7 day is also like, I think I've said before that I want to, plan some giveaways and like some community event things to go alongside the like official N7 day to kind of just add more to the day.
Yeah.
But also this is the first N7 day without Jay Ingram, the community manager. So we'll see what this year looks like because Jay was behind a lot of the planning of N7 day.
Yeah.
And he did the community outreach portion. So yeah, we'll see what this year looks like. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully, I also wouldn't be surprised if there was like an official announcement about like a show or, like something like that. Maybe if not this year, maybe next year or something like that too.
I would take that.
That would be a good time for them to reveal something like that.
That would be, like a 1 minute trailer or whatever. 100%. I would take that.
Yeah. And someone says, I just want to see you cry, Kayla. Okay, listen, this last N7 day, after that second clip of the N7 person, I thought it was Shepard. I did cry. And then
She was crying.
I was like, okay, wait, chill. After I like had my breakdown, I was like, wait, relax. It's not that serious. And then the third one came out and I was like, okay, I shouldn't have cried like an idiot. But I did cry last N7 day.
No, but here's the thing though, right? And I bring this up every time you bring that up. Because of that, they have to reveal Shepard. Like, because of that second clip, they knew what they were doing. They knew that every single person in the fandom thought they were going to reveal Shepard. So it's inevitable. It is inevitable. Because they know. They know how much Shepard means to us.
I still am in
Kala,
the camp.
they specifically cut off the helmet part so we could guess. Like, there's no way. They know what they're doing. They know they're trolling us.
I agree to a certain extent, but I still am in the camp that Shepard is not going to be the protagonist. I think that Shepard will make an appearance in some capacity, but I do not think that they will be the protagonist. And that is...
I am living.
And I'm not saying that that's what I want, but also you have to think like... Shepard's original writers are mostly not there. So the writers that are still there, there's Brienne Batty. She wrote part of the Mass Effect Citadel, and I think some of Mass Effect 2. Patrick Weeks wrote for the entire trilogy, but did a lot of stuff with the companions. So like Tali and oh my gosh, why I'm literally looking at my statue of him. Wow,
I believe you got this. You got this. You have the statue right in front of you.
I can do it.
And the name is...
Okay, what is this?
Oh no, I'm blanking.
Why can't I do it?
It's this Morden?
Yes. Oh my god, I wanted to call him Legion. Yeah, I am a fake fan.
No,
I'm a fake fan.
Kala, I'm not even staring at the statue and I knew what it was.
I'm literally looking and I'm stupid.
I think you might need a bit of cheese. I don't know.
Actually, I haven't eaten all day, so I probably do need something. I didn't want to choke during stream again. But yeah, so I guess what I'm just trying to say is that Shepard's original writers are no longer there. So can they really...
But technically...
But I mean...
We write for Shepard. You know what I mean?
I mean, in a way, we choose Shepard's writing, but we didn't write that dialogue.
No. Yeah. No, 100%.
So that's
100%.
why
But
I think
technically,
like
if it's a customizable shepherd, anyone could write them, right?
I think just part of me is like, can they bring back Shepherd and bring back the Shepherd that we knew? Or if they bring back
100%.
Shepherd, is there a high chance that this is going to be a Shepherd written by, Mary DeMarle, who did
Mm,
not write for the original Shepherd? And, it's just hard to say. It's hard to say. And I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what the right answer is there. And I'm sure they've figured it out. And I'll play whatever they do. But I'm still in the camp that Shepard's not going to be the protagonist. But we'll
I
see.
have a question for you. But
Yes.
then I also just want to bring up the Hollywood guy.
Hollywood guy.
Give
Let's see.
another Hollywood.
Do you guys really think that Mass Effect's future really depends on a sale of a game? I mean, I hope not. EA can afford a loss. Anthem Andromeda took a hit. I think that Dreadwolf has been in development for a very long time. There's a lot of money, resource, and time that has been put into the game. People have been laid off. There's been 2 rounds of layoffs, and the studio as a whole is a lot smaller than when the development started on that game. Not to mention, the Montreal studio closed after Andromeda. So BioWare only has the Austin and Edmonton studios. So during the course of Dreadwolf's development, they have downsized a lot. And I don't know if EA will afford them another launch that isn't anything but successful. And that's just me speculating. You have to look at the entire gaming industry. We're seeing studios that have award-winning games being closed. We're seeing
crazy.
studios that have made, some very well-known, very successful games close. BioWare is not unique in this situation. And EA has made no secret that they want to save as much money as possible and will close studios. So for the sake of Mass Effect 5, for the sake of BioWare, for the sake of Gamble, his job, his team, for everybody that is at BioWare, Mary DeMarle and Patrick Weeks and all the people who are still at BioWare, I genuinely hope that Dreadwolf does well, because I think that it probably needs to. So I really just hope that the team gets a success, and I hope that this is BioWare's kind of like, hey, we still got it. We had
back,
some
baby.
missteps, but we're back. And I really, really hope that's what happens. So
yeah, I mean, my thoughts on that as well. I do think Dreadwolf will play a factor, and I will say that if it is even just decent, and like EA is happy with their results or whatever in terms of sales, like the next Mass Effect is setting up to be really good in terms of the leadership group, because like they also brought in I think her name's Connie Booth, the one
Sony,
like
from
PlayStation,
Sony,
yeah, the Sony, like she has, when I was looking at her experience, I was like, holy crap, like she has a ton of experience, and she was brought in specifically to like make their processes more efficient and stuff. So to me, like BioWare is setting up to be a really, really like good studio in terms of being able to crank out games and stuff. They're just going through a really, tough stretch right now where their beloved franchises in Dragon Age and Mass Effect just haven't released anything in a long time. Also, the chicken's back. Kala, I'm gonna see this chicken in my dreams, just always on screen.
I'll just leave it on there.
But I will say, like, as long as Dreadwolf is like not a disaster and is decent, we're just gonna pause it on there. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I feel
everybody can
personally
look at
attacked
it.
by this chicken.
This is the Rallo reveal.
Yeah. This is gonna be it. The guys, this is gonna be the N7 day reveal. Just watch.
Exactly.
Next year, chicken in the suit. That N7 is gonna pull off the helmet and it's just gonna be a chicken.
Beautiful, beautiful. 10 out of 10.
But yeah, anyway, I do think that if just fingers crossed, like Dreadwolf does well, because I really want to see what this group can do. I think that they've got so many, they've hired and just wrapped this project around so many smart minds, and just really intelligent people that know how to get things done. So I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think.
But I also,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you a question, but you go ahead because
I was just going to say, I think that they also know that Mass Effect will be bigger than Dragon Age. So
100%.
You know, Mass Effect would be more of a financial win. It would be a larger fan base. It is the more widely beloved franchise. Not only do they know that they have to get it right, but they know that whatever Dreadwolf does, Mass Effect will undoubtedly make more money than Dreadwolf. So even if Dreadwolf doesn't do super well, I assume they'd want to hold on until, but again,
it just has to do decent, like as long as it's not a disaster, I think that the next Mass Effect will be a go. Dreadwolf, I'm sorry, if Dreadwolf is decent.
Also, Blaze has an interesting theory, and then you can ask your question, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
But, he says, I believe the Geth is glyph. No other AI character is always beside Liara. She would totally upgrade it with the Geth Reaper code. Colors match too.
Yep. This was my original theory. If you go back to like the relay the relay analysis I did a year ago, I thought that Liara was speaking to Glyph. Because if you think about it, when she's talking to the Geth, it sounds very familiar. She's saying, how did we miss this and stuff? And it's like, would she be saying that to like a Geth character who she just supposedly might have met? Like, it could be Glyph. Like, I think the possibility is still there. It's just, it would kind of almost be a letdown, but again, like we did see Glyph wearing a bow tie at the party. I mean, it was a fake bow tie, but
yeah, I don't think that when she's saying, how did we miss this? I think she's just referring to her and Shepard. Like, I think that she's referring to the group.
Oh, you think Shepard's there?
No. What I mean is I think she's referring to like, how did we, the people who
like
were interacting whatever with what we're talking about, miss this? Like, I don't think she's referring the person that she's talking to and including them in that context.
Okay.
As far as like whether that's Glyph or not, I think it could be, but
then why is the Angara pointing at
I don't really
right?
know how I feel. I mean, it's a possibility, sure, but I would rather see real Geth than it be Glyph.
Same. Like, I think it would be more interesting. And I feel like there's been so much speculation. Like, Liara was walking towards a Geth poster. Like in the Geth poster, she was walking towards a Geth crater. So to me, that seems very much like she was looking into Geth specifically, as opposed to Glyph is now a Geth. Like I feel like that would be more of a letdown with all the Geth hints we've gotten.
Same. Yeah.
But like that was my original thought as well. So
what was your question you were going to ask?
Yeah, so I don't know how much time we have, so we might
probably
end off in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I want to ask you, do you think there is any possibility, either this N7 day or any of the other ones, where they do reveal Shepard returning? Taking away that they might be the protagonist or not, do you think, like, what percentage do you think that could happen?
0.
Oh, Calla, no.
I think that Shepard would only be revealed in a massive setting like the Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, when all eyes are on the reveal. Because, I mean...
Oh, okay.
N7
so
days,
not on N7 day, but you think it could be a possibility?
Maybe, yeah. But I don't think that Shepard would ever be revealed in an actual... And I think this last year reaffirmed that for me, that a major reveal would not be done because I mean the reality of like the amount of people that actually see the N7 day stuff is a very tiny portion of the fan base.
It's true. It is true.
It's not for the general public. That's for hardcore fans. So that would not be somewhere that you would reveal something major anyways. And I went to Trader Joe's, like it's like a grocery store.
Okay.
And I was wearing my N7 hoodie and my N7 jacket. And the cashier was like, "Oh, hey, I like your jacket." And I was like, "Oh yeah, Are you excited for the next game?" And he was like, "What next game?"
Oh,
and I was like, "Huh?"
No.
I was like,
dude.
"What?" Yeah, I was
the
like,
amount of
"What
people,
do you mean?"
The amount of people that have watched the trailer breakdown that I did and been like, "There's a new game coming out."
Yes.
Has actually been wild. And I'm like, "How do you not know?" Oh my God.
Like people, like sometimes I'll post the Mass Effect concept art from like years ago, and people are like, "Oh my god, there's a new Mass Effect game. I've never seen." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Same.
"What?" Like, there's a lot
And
of
it's like
people that don't know.
join the torture.
Yeah, I mean, really, like there is, like I think that people really underestimate how small the N7 days are. You
Mhm.
know, and Dragon Age Day 2, like those are for hardcore established fans who are looking for that content online. That's
Mhm.
not the general fan base by any means whatsoever.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't expect any type of major reveal on any N7 day, but definitely not a Shepard reveal.
Okay. So you're saying this year's Game Awards.
Oh my gosh. I don't think they would do that right after Dragon Age, but I don't know. They've done, I
No.
don't know. Yeah.
If anything next year, I feel like.
Yeah,
If it's even
maybe.
happening.
Yeah. So,
I would lose my ish if they do it for a Game Awards this year.
yeah, I think that would be
Holy
I think
crap.
that would be really I think that'd be really interesting if they did eventually something for the Game Awards again. But that would I
They
think it
have
would
to. It's
be
iconic.
it would be have to be closer to the actual release. I don't think they can get away with doing another reveal super early, especially with everything with Dread Wolf and yeah. So I
Mhm.
don't know. It's complicated. I will trust whatever process that they're doing.
Trust the process. That's the vibe.
All right, guys. Well, I need to go eat. I'm freaking starving. So
Get
thank
that
you,
cheese.
everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat because I did not want to eat before, and I did not want to eat during. So it's like 3 p.m. and I'm parched.
Oh no.
So I'm starving.
No.
But everybody, thank you so much for watching and joining. Thank you for everybody who is now an N7 agent, and to all the people who
Yeah.
donated. I'm so happy that there's actually people still watching. I know that Mass Effect, there's not a lot to talk about right now except really the, people who are still making theories and trying to keep that little sliver of Mass Effect alive while there's no content.
Yes.
Um, Again, in the meantime, if you are not in the Discord, I will make sure to post that.
Oh, I
So if
can link
people,
that.
yeah, if you want to link that, that would
I
be
can link that.
great. It's you can get updates on both mine and Atharia's videos when you join, and you can also get information on other games too. And I link a few other YouTubers in there as well, so you'll get updates whenever they want to or whenever they share stuff too. That's optional, but come and join if you want to come and chat with us and be on the lookout. I know N7 Day is a ways away, but I have a few things
Anticipating.
planned for everybody, so hopefully we can do some extra stuff. But in the meantime, again, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. And
Yeah, thank
make
you so
sure
much.
to
Oh,
follow Atharia on her YouTube. Okay, link
oh
your
right.
channel too.
Let me. Is it okay if I pop my thingy into the
Yeah,
chat?
you should. Oh
My
wait,
channel link.
is it not letting you?
Hang on. I'm just trying to. I was trying to get the Discord link. Let me just see if this works. Okay, that's my channel link. And then I was trying to get the Discord link, and it's not popping up for
Oh, I
me.
think your channel link didn't. I think my
Oh, it died.
filters. Yeah, hold on, let me do it.
Rip. Yeah, I couldn't get the. I could not get the Discord link at all. Maybe if I go into our
Here
Discord.
is Atharia's, and let me grab the Discord for whoever wants to join.
Yeah, legit. Summer Game Fest next month. I think I saw United King Dragon say it is on June 7th. Um yeah, I'm hoping that it's Dragon Age focused. I'm hoping that there's that's the full reveal, if not at an EA event or something.
Yeah, we'll see. Hurry up and finish your playthrough though.
Oh my god, save me, Cal. I'm only at like
Oh my
31%
god, hurry up,
finished.
hurry up,
I just I don't know.
hurry up.
I'll finish. I'll do it. I'll do whatever I need to. I'll just play Dragon Age 24/7.
All right, guys.
Oh, hang
Well,
on, hang on. I got
oh,
Kala. Okay, wait. I just got a gamble notification on my phone, and we can
what is
react to
it?
this live. I don't know what's happening. Okay, wait. Never mind. It's not Mass Effect related.
Oh, what
It
was
is
it?
related to Keith David playing as
Oh,
Commander Zavala in Destiny 2.
okay, but good that he's still interacting with Keith David.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Gamble said y'all picked well. If anyone can do it, it's Anderson.
True.
100%.
Oh,
100%.
I miss
You
him.
got it here first, guys.
Okay, I gotta go eat.
Okay, anyway, sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, everybody, again. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.